wrapped around your soul with no control. You can't breathe when you're drowning underwater. There's so much water. I'll run, I'll hide. Darkness always clouds my mind. When I look behind, it's moving closer every time. I can't pretend that I have a strong defense. 'Cause darkness is my old friend. You'll get me in the end. At the end. Can you feel it wrapped around your soul with no control? You can't breathe when you're drowning underwater. There's so much water. I can't pretend that I have a strong defense. 'Cause darkness, my old friend, you'll get me in the end. See you at the end.
What's going on, folks? Will Stewart here with another THFC rant. Gotta win today. Gotta win. Although I don't feel overly excited, to be absolutely frank. But yeah, let's handle the business here before we get the link in the chat to allow you folks to jump on and have a good say. We've got Williams, Rangers here, Spartan 7 Gaming, Wayne, Bonner, Mama Coats, Celery Agent, AG, and Koguma Nim. If you'd like to have your name shouted out before every single stream on the channel, make sure to head on over to patreon.com/THFCRants. You can sign up for just a basic support of $5 a month. Or if you really want to get hardcore and get links to come on to shows midweek during the afternoon, we do have the $10 top ranter option. Allows you, all of that money will go into help improving the channel, to improve the show, Cody's show, and future shows that we have on coming on to the channel. And yeah, it's all good. We also have THFCRants.com. See that link right there. Also find that in there. If that has merchandise here. You got the bun merch. We've got the moon boots. We've got the I'm telling you, bro. We've also got ENICOUT for those of you who are ENICOUT. Yeah, there's no protest to announce today other than the one that's on Wednesday, apparently. If it happens to continue to go through. But let's bring on at least one guest that we've got in the back, and then we'll throw the link on into the chat and allow everyone to jump on and have their say. Scratch that. We've got two. Looks like one guy got back from the gym, getting ready to pump some iron. He'll be featuring in Pumping Iron Part 3. Marcelo.
I'm telling you, bros.
What's going on?
I'm doing good. I'm just
Doing
eating a
good.
brownie. You caught me by surprise. I thought you were gonna have the other guy, so I thought I had time to eat the brownie.
No, it's all good. And then we've also got my co-host, my partner in crime. Yeah, a good contributor to the show. You've got the shark ready, Marcelo.
Cody Mac.
Cody Mac.
Looks like he's cracking open another Sapporo.
Oh, nice. Sapporo's are good.
Sapparo's a good one. Fellas, we won today.
Yeah, we did it. Yeah. Woo. Woo.
We're back.
we won
We
today.
have our Tottenham back.
No, no, we don't.
Mason in. Woo.
Ben Davies testimonial.
Yay. We won.
Let's just start right off the bat. We'll start in. Ben.
Ben Davies, the greatest player of all time, must have his testimonial.
May the Father be at peace with Blanks, Davies, and Sissoko, our Lord and Savior.
I watched
Marcelo,
majority
it
of
was-
your show with Alex today
it was-
over on the Irish Hotspur.
I was just gonna.
That was-
It was a good show, man.
Oh man, I lost it.
You were
You know what? Here's
you were
what I'll
letting
say.
it fly.
Okay. Alex actually has like some decent points.
He does.
But
He does.
He doesn't do a very good job presenting them and arguing them, right? He'll take a position that's defensible, but then he'll make like the worst argument possible.
Yeah. No. Well, the thing is, right?
Funny guy.
He does make a point about like, oh, we're probably not going to sell any of these players. Oh, we're probably not going to buy any players. We're probably not going to do this. Like, I agree with him. I don't think we're going to do a lot of that. But like, you can't just give up, right? Like, as a fan base, we can't like give up. You know, like if we give up, we accept being Spursy, we accept not winning trophies, and then we can't complain. Would anybody agree with that? Like, if you give up and you don't protest and you don't like, try to fight for your club or at least, push the board, then you kind of deserve what you get,
And to bring him on in here, new contributor to the channel starting next Tuesday. God. Mr. K.
Come on, Mr. K.
Evening, afternoon, late evening to all.
I need a cigarette.
Pumping iron, I can see that. Man smelling.
I'm just, it's so hot, and like I didn't plug in my AC today. It's like what, like 75 or something. So like, I'm not gonna wear like a whole shirt and everything. Screw that.
Screw the shirt.
I mean, honestly, if I wasn't streaming, when I'm not streaming, I just like go bare, like, you know, just like I don't.
Bare-chested.
Yeah, bare chested, you know, caveman style.
Bare chested.
The old wife beater.
The full Monty.
Oh man, I look so like my friends always tell me I look super Italian when I wear this. Especially when I have like if I have the gold chain. It's just
Man, you look like you're like Jim Tan Laundry right now.
what?
Jim Tan Laundry.
Letting that chest hair
Oh,
hair
yeah.
show.
Got a lot of it.
It's all good.
Us Brazilian folks, you know. I'll come straight from the backwoods. So,
Hairy beasts.
yeah.
So, are the protests over now?
Apparently.
No,
Oh man.
not really.
Did it even start? Like let's be honest. Like first off, no offense. Like anybody who did go to the protest, big up you. You know the amount of like dedication it takes, the amount of like hours of work that you know you have to go through to just go there. You know, showing love to the club. Everybody who went there, congratulations. But it was kind of a joke. Like let's be really here. Like we're kind of a joke. Like that was not a, I don't know, like I just feel like there could have been a bigger turnout if fans actually cared.
Hey, Mr. K, did you go to both?
Because Mr. K, you were there.
You were there.
So let's get your postmortem on this event.
Look, at the end of the day, I don't know. I have not seen the previous demonstrations that Tottenham Spurs fan ever did. You guys can hear me clearly?
It's not clear, but we can hear you. Yeah.
Okay, sorry, man. I'll try to speak up a bit. I wasn't there for the last demonstration, so I haven't seen them before. And since then, Spurs fans are hard to move into doing this type of thing. The fact that anyone turned up at all, I was quite glad of. I managed to find some people that were a little bit more exactly the same as us. And we stayed there till the end. We didn't walk away. We weren't in the middle of getting drunk. But we formed a group and we said, listen, this thing's going to take forever. You understand? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
What are you doing, Will Stewart?
I didn't do
He's
anything.
controlling our avatars. Look at this. Why am I a bowl of sunflower seeds right now? Where is my cartoon face? Give me my cartoon face back.
I didn't. It's not even possible for me to change yours unless it's because you're logged in through
Why
the
is
back
Marcelo
end.
Matt Hayes?
Yeah. Instead of you clicking the link to join the stream, you came in through the back end, didn't you?
Look.
That's why. So you're logged in through my account. So like
Right.
if I were to kill my camera too, it would do the same thing. Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Coming back to the seeds. Listen, the seeds have been sown. The seeds have been sown for the rebellion.
That's an inside joke that I do on a different stream, and not Spurs related. So,
but it works here. It works here. What you guys have missed is what I've seen with my eyes. You know, you meet people, human beings in real life, and it's totally different from that, having met them on stream. Here, you can actually evaluate the human being, and you can see what levels they're willing to go to. And the number one thing which I got was I got a core group of guys that, you know, they can't go day in, day out, right? But what they can do is they can turn up on a regular. And that's the basis of what we need. We need to build something up. It took other teams like them across the road, you know, a few years to get ahead of steam. But that's what may be required here. You know, when is the management going to see sense in how they're treating the fans? There's got to be an element of pride that has to go backwards and forwards. And all they're going to do is make simple decisions like footballing ones. employ someone, put them in position, say, there you go, it's your problem now. It will give you a budget every year. There you go. You buy and sell, you can keep some of that. It's a simple structure. But the way I look at it is we have to be there for the long road. You can't just go there and go wham bam and all of a sudden everything happens. I'm sorry, that's not how it works with Spurs. You know that. I know that. So, you know, whatever's happened has happened. But I take out of it a positive. It ain't stopping me. There's people like Wayne Bonner, right? Yeah, people like him and me. We don't come out to demonstrate for fun. We don't come out for nothing. But we came out for this. And him and me, you know, we're going to be pairing up and going there every other Saturday or Sunday. Whenever there's an opportunity to start, just be there outside the shop and just demonstrate. Make sure our presence is heard. The message has got to be constant throughout. And then maybe it goes up and down when the season starts. But at the end of the day, we're not giving up. This may take 3 years. We're not giving up. What do you want us to do? Capitulate? Walk away from the club and say, we don't love you no more? We can't do that.
Absolutely
So,
agree, Mr. K. And
going down there on your feet, right? Yeah. I mean, you can't go every day. I never planned to go 2 days in a row. So if anyone was disappointed that people didn't turn up the second day, well, you obviously didn't do your homework. You know, this is meant to be long term. We're never going to do it short term. You saw that already.
Yeah.
But
Absolutely.
Look, they went from 50 to 500. Fantastic. Now, what other type of big event would be coming banned? We have to learn lessons from this. And one of the things is getting organized. And David was saying that on his show. And I thought, you know what? I came in there and saying, where the heck am I supposed to be? You know, grab a mask on the way. Now I've been there. Now I've met people. Now we've got formed a group. The Antwerp Arms protest group. So those initiated into the group, right? Yeah, they've got to have come down to the Antwerp Arms with us. And therefore the initiation is done. They're part of the protest group. And this is, if you see that video on Twitter of mine. With the
I saw the video. I saw the video. I saw your Twitter video. That was
awesome.
awesome.
You see behind me in the field, right? In front of me is the pub. Behind me is the field. I guarantee you, if I carry on doing that, that field is going to start to get filled up. Give me a year and watch what happens, right? I'm going to make that place is going on the map, right? That place was a very special place for the people that stayed hard. Stelios was there. Bobby was there. You know,
I don't want to deflate your bubble, but I have to a little bit. I have to a little bit because I'm a realist.
I'll carry on. It's all right.
I'm a very pragmatic person. So yesterday, people's excuse for the reason why there was only about 500-600 people there was because it wasn't a match day. And today, or because it was raining. Today, bright, sunny day on a match day, and there was not even half as many people today as there were yesterday. And I'm not saying that necessarily the people that went yesterday had to go today. I'm not saying that,
Yeah.
but there were no more. Right,
No,
all that were there
was,
were the ones who went both days for the most part.
There was no second wave. Sorry, there was no third wave. We got the second wave. It was 10 times bigger than the first one, right?
Because this was technically the fourth.
Well, fourth one now. Oh my days.
Yeah, the day of the ESL launch, there was one or two people outside the training ground. Just two guys holding up signs.
That was the initial one. That's it.
Yep, that was the first one. And then there was the other one after that down at the stadium the next day. And that one had about 100 folk at it. Right. And then one yesterday we had about 500-ish. Some people are saying 6, some people are saying 5. It looked like less than that to me. Crowds can be deceiving.
When I got there, it was a lot less. About 200 time I got there.
So,
can I say something totally out of context? Well,
sure.
I gotta say, man, your beard is looking like shiny, man. What products you put on that thing?
I just got a little beard oil on there today, so it's.
Are you part of the beard club? I want to ask.
Gotten a little glistening.
Yeah, bro. Like they're shining. I got distracted by it. That's a beautiful beard, man. Congratulations.
It's the ring light.
It's the light. It's the light. It's also the gray hairs and a little bit of beard oil.
You look like you're ready for a testimonial right now. Little angelic glow going on, casting some angelic shadows on that scalp.
You must listen to me, for I am Will. You must do my will.
Thy will be done.
Will, did Daddy do thy will? Did he have a big smile on his face today? Did he
Yeah.
do you proud?
Yeah, funny thing too. Apparently, I was brought up at the protest either yesterday or today, and people were fighting about me.
Nice.
That's what that's what Matt Cohen said. Matthew Cohen.
Means that people watching the show, people, some of the content is a little bit controversial, but people are watching. That's all that matters.
What
Any
were they
PR is
fighting
good
about?
PR. That's what I say, man. That's
Yeah.
what I say.
What were they fighting about?
I have
Probably
no
the
idea. I don't know the
unique shirt.
details. But apparently, like Matthew Cohen on the tail end of Irish Hotspur show, because today was my wife's birthday, so
Oh, happy birthday to your wife.
thank you. I guess it's not my birthday. I'll relay the message. But yeah, no, so I was up early. We went to the mall, to the outlet stores, and all that stuff, and spent the better half of the day walking around the mall. And so by the time I got back, it was about 6 or 7, and then watched the last, the tail end of right before you got off, Marcel, and then continued to the end, and Matt Cohen was in there. That apparently he said he got into an argument with somebody at the protests.
Really?
And had to defend me or something. Yeah, I just think that's weird.
Hey,
And then reload. Isn't it worrying that the protest is niche? That Will Stewart is a topic of conversation. 100%, it's worrying. I agree with you. Even though you spelled my last name, I'm not French. Thank you very much.
WillStewartTHFCRants. WillStewartTHFCRants.
Yeah, that's the French spelling for Stewart, because they don't have a W
Oh.
in their alphabet. So, yeah,
But-
the reload double. Yeah, I do think that's extremely worrying if people are getting to fisticuffs over Will Stewart THFCRants at a protest about ENICOUT.
Hey, man, people just, it's passion, man. That's what I love about it, Like, David and I, like, we go at each other all the time, but we love it. You know what I mean? Alex, I love Alex. People think Alex and I are friends. I love Alex. If I see Alex in person, I'll give him a big old hug. I love that guy. I think he's
Alex
awesome.
D.
I just disagree with everything he says.
Oh, I do too.
I think you can.
I
mean,
think
like
he's
you can.
awesome, but I just did.
I love him
like,
as a
think-
person, but
We
I
got-
hate to hear him talk.
We
like,
got another guest in the back,
Marcelo,
I
man.
just
Yeah, he does do the
noticed-
smiling stage.
and what's going on, Eugene?
Good evening, good morning to wherever you are,
And good night.
and some good night.
nighttime for me.
Yeah, I'm morning here,
Oh wow. Where are you from?
Malaysia.
Oh, Malaysia. Okay.
Yeah. So, how things, guys? How was yesterday?
How was yesterday? I
Yesterday
forgot.
is
I
still
didn't-
today for us.
It's still today for us.
Yeah, how was today? Yesterday. I mean, how was the match?
It was pretty good. I thought we controlled the game basically. Aside from a couple of stray chances, Wolves didn't really threaten us that much. I thought Dele Alli looked
Can I be honest?
pretty good. No, never.
Wolves were really bad.
Yeah.
Wolves are
That's
really
true.
bad.
Yeah, that's true.
Wolves are shit. Wolves are
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah,
They didn't-
that's just the fault.
More than us being really good,
But listen,
Wolves were really bad.
You know what's funny?
How did that team beat Brighton last week?
That's weird.
Because Brian
Graham
Nelson-
Potter, the genius.
Did Neto play today? I didn't see him.
Neto didn't play.
No, Never didn't play.
Big miss for
Did
them.
Podence play today?
No,
No.
they're all injured, bro.
Yeah,
They're all
that's why.
injured.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were,
Well,
Neves came on late in the second half.
well, the thing is also like it was an injured Wolves team,
Yeah.
and two, they just don't have any desire left. I mean, there's nothing to fight for them. This season, like they're staying up. They're not gonna get any European football. Like, like for them, they're just like, oh well, like there's nothing to fight
Training,
for. It's just training. It's literally just warm up.
But
So
what scared me was
eh,
how
Top 10 pride.
maybe.
Nah,
But
they
what
don't give a
scared me
fuck.
was
They don't care
how
about
Traore just ran through our midfield.
oh, that was shocking.
he was playing a bit
and it
more.
was,
on the
in
down.
one time, it was like 2-3 times. I was
playing
like,
inside the
oh my
channel.
God, what's that?
So I just think it's funny.
Normally he plays on the wing, but he normally
Just-
charges.
I do want to say
I don't
Pedro
like
Neto
to be-
didn't play last week against Brighton either. So
Yeah.
But I'm saying, like, so you have Neto out, Podence out, Neves out, except for just in the second appearance in the second half.
And Jimenez is long term.
Jimenez has been out for a long time.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm talking about players that have played this season that have made them a team to contend with. So other than their back line being healthy, their back four, their midfield was, B and C team type players. And so I don't want to be negative Nancy, but
well, you're not being negative. You're just speaking facts, Will.
Yeah, it just makes it a heck of a lot easier to beat this Wolves team when the only people in their starting 11 are their defenders.
Yeah, but there's been lots of games where we should be winning comfortably where we haven't been able to do it this season. I'm not going to just completely discount Wolves. Yeah, they were bad.
Southampton was. It's kind of a Southampton.
That's fine. I can agree to that.
But the thing is,
but I'm not just gonna live in a world where I can't give Tottenham credit for winning.
No, I'm glad we won. I don't want to lose.
Doing it. At least we did what we were supposed to do.
Yeah, well, I'm happy.
No, I think what Will is trying to say is there's not much to take from the match considering how injury prone or how injury ridden Wolves are, how they have nothing to win this season, and how the game is fucking irrelevant. You know what I mean? There's not much to take on from the game. Okay, Dele Alli had a good game. Okay.
In a midfield of B team Wolves players.
Yeah, you got to take that into context.
And he had an okay game. I didn't see it as being great.
Yeah, not man of the match.
Smile. He had a lovely smile.
Great.
I would have given him a 6.
I
6.5
sometimes,
But how did Connor Cody get the
Dele?
Right?
Yeah, I would have given Dele a 6, 6.5.
Yeah, Dele was a 6.
I think SofaScore gave him 7.6 or 7.8 or something.
SofaScore had been smoking that weed, man.
No, they take the smile factor. If the player smiles a lot right after.
No, SofaScore always is higher than normal, right? You rarely see a player, even if they play really poorly, with lower than a 6 on SofaScore.
Not my score.
It's not an eye test score. It's a statistical score. It's based on percentile of players playing that position for that period of time.
I should create my own website.
I thought Dele was pretty good. I thought he was pretty good.
Even Højbjerg on SofaScore was probably only about a 7.3.
He was more than that. He was like a 9 today, in my opinion. He was fantastic.
Right, for the eye test, for sure. But on SofaScore, he probably wasn't that high.
But I mean, even from the eye test,
maybe 7.8.
The guy made the most tackles, got assists, got a goal. I mean, come on, Pierre was easily man of the match. He bossed Wolves today.
8.6 is what they got him on today. 8.6.
But Dele looked okay. He did.
Yeah, against a shit Wolves team.
SofaScore has Højbjerg at a 6.7 against Sheffield United, and I thought he looked way better against Sheffield United than he did against Wolves. I guess you just get bonus points for scoring a goal and getting an assist, but because they had him as the way he pressed in the first half against Sheffield United, I thought was awesome, and he got 6.7 that match. So.
Yeah, but again, I know what people are gonna say, but Dele did it. It was a team in front of him. You can only play the team in front of him. Yada, right? The thing is, enough is enough. The guy's been here for too long. He hasn't been playing his heart out. He doesn't do it in the big games. He won't do it in the big game. If he went to play a big team, I guarantee you, if he plays against Leicester, he's gonna get absolutely exposed. He's gonna get absolutely just hard rock. He's not going to be able to do anything. And then everybody's going to be like, oh, Dele's useless. Then he's going to play a team from 10 buck 2 and then do, pretty good. And then everybody's like, oh, he's got that edge back. He's got that, Dele's back, baby. You know what I mean? It's just
good morning, Miss Eva.
It's not very long to go. We only got 2 games to go before we play Leicester, right? Yeah. So we got Leicester.
I got bad news, Marcelo. I got bad news. Dele Alli is going to be wearing a Tottenham Hotspur shirt next season.
I know. I mean, I'm well aware, but it's
look. I mean, if he comes back on form, I don't mind keeping him. He's got
but he's not.
The goats here.
Did you guys watch Dele's 50-second clip interview there after the match?
No, I couldn't care less.
No,
so what he talked about how, you know, you can train as much as you want, but you can't replace match minutes in terms of like
Yeah.
maintaining your form and redeveloping your skills and whatnot. To me, like I'm not going to say Delhi is excellent, but he has shown that he's been getting a little bit better each game as he's in these last 3 games. You know, nobody was really that great against Leeds, but Delhi wasn't terrible against Leeds. And I think he's really digging out Jose in many on multiple fronts. You know, like okay, so like I think the training comment today was like a veiled attack at Jose, because Jose, you know, he was all about like when Delhi trains his way, he'll get back onto the pitch kind of thing, right? Calls him a lazy trainer, whatever. So Delhi right off the bat, now that he's back in the starting lineup, talking about how, you know, training isn't the same as game time, you know. Not to mention that as soon as Jose's out the door, Delhi gets this ridiculous change in hairstyle that you could just kind of see. It wouldn't be hard if you like squinted to see. It would be something that Jose would kind of scoff at. You know what I mean? And he's banging Pep's daughter.
Is that true?
That smile. I told you, that smile.
You know?
Gosh, that's the last thing we need.
Great news, guys.
Maybe
We did it. We won the trophy. We won the trophy. Dele Alli scored with Pep's daughter. Maybe his winning mentality will rub in.
Now, if he could only score in the league,
you know, no, I'm sorry, Cody. I'm gonna
unlucky to hit the bar and for.
I just gotta interrupt you there for a second because I know where you're getting at. Like, oh, Dele Alli just didn't get the minutes, right? Like, I get. So, you know, like you're telling me Dele Alli just didn't have the minutes, right? But last season, Jose played him quite a bit. He played him quite a bit, right? And he just didn't do it. And whenever he did play,
Daniel Levy, if you are watching, you're a bald-headed.
Welcome.
Good evening, lads.
Good evening.
Thank you.
Good evening.
I'm not trying to build a case for Dele Alli. That's not what I'm saying.
It's just that, like, you know, like I just see these excuses for this guy. And it's just like, there's no excuses for Dele. He's had his many chances from Jose. And every time he's played against any opposition of quality, we have said, get out. We have said, please, please get out. Don't play. Don't play. And it's just... cycle never ends. At Spurs. Never ends.
Next season comes in next season. And
anyone else finding the stream really choppy?
No.
It's okay.
It's fine for me.
You actually froze up earlier, Cody. It was in a really funny place too. You were like,
yeah, I thought like
Did you see the pre-match show this morning with David? Because he got frozen like.
Oh yeah, I was there.
Like he looked like he was having a stroke.
And then you took over. You took over. The
I was just by myself for like 3 minutes on We Are Tottenham TV, just having to like carry the entire stream, and I was just like, "Well, it's a good time to plug my show."
Did you plug it? You better plug it.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah. And you know, I talked a little bit about the protests or whatnot, but it was just like, oh man, this is awkward.
Brian, what's going on, man?
Nothing much. Just
seem down.
Well, when you see a tweet by the Tottenham Hotspur Supporters Trust saying that they're going to have a meeting with the people they didn't want to meet about to talk about the meeting, that they can't talk about the things at the meeting, that kind of meeting, it kind of blows your fucking mind.
Come on, Brian. Tell us how you really feel, lad.
Mate, this is me just warming up. If people think this is the end of the protest, all I will say is people think again. Because I'm not stopping.
But you
I
know
don't
what,
care if I have
Brian?
to do it
You know,
from here.
you know what I noticed today, not being involved, and I know everybody out there in the YouTube world missed my beautiful face today. But not being and kind of watching it back the day after, no one talked about it. Tommy was the only video other than your guys' post-match reaction where I really heard anyone talk about the protest.
Well, I mean,
stuff.
if you look at it, Will, you and me went a bit mental on Dave's channel last night. And it just blows my mind. All the excuses you hear. Oh, it'll be better on a match day. It'll be better on a match day. Well, there's a match day today. Where were you? Where were 2 days? Two sets of different excuses. People running their mouth. Listen, just don't say shit. If you're not going to do anything, don't say shit. Don't join the bandwagon and say you want change, and then when you have the chance to do change, just sit there and do nothing. Just don't say anything.
Like, personally, I respect a lot the people that went in. You know, in my opinion, I think the people criticizing the protesters, is a joke. You know, like you're an armchair. You're just like you know, like that's the definition of a couch potato. You know what I mean? You complain about an issue, but you're not like man enough to do anything about it.
I think a lot of the criticism though came from the disappointment in the number of people there, because like, for instance, if there would have been like 2,000 people there, people wouldn't have really have cared if people were singing, you know, when Daniel Levy dies, you know, or something like that, right? Because the protest would have been big and loud and that kind of, because you're going to have that nonsense even at big protests, people throwing stuff at stuff that they shouldn't be throwing stuff at, and other junk like that. It was because it was so small, those types of issues were kind of amplified, and because in that way, that's why people were picking fun of it. Now, I don't think that they necessarily, I'd rather have people go and do that kind of dumb stuff than not go at all. But it definitely doesn't help when you have low numbers and kind of Spursy stuff going on, like guys, you know, holding, I mean, from the last one, guys holding, you know, shot bags in the picture, holding a sign, right? Like, it's
absolute dickhead.
I mean, I big him up for being there, right? But it's like, if you're gonna be there, let's be there with some
intent. Yeah,
some
you know,
gusto.
the mentality we have is, oh, so many people said they're going. I'm not going to go because there'll be loads of people there to do it. It's that kind of stupid mentality that has ruined it. So like I said last night, if we sell Harry Kane this summer and we don't sign a replacement, and when I say a replacement, I don't mean a Callum Wilson or a Chris Wood from Burnley. I mean a Roy.
What do you mean? 28 years old, same height, same age, perfect.
Oh, exactly. Let's just go lookalikes. Let's just go by lookalikes. Let's do that.
But you forgot the key word, cheap, Brian. Cheap.
Oh, mate, believe me, you know me. When it comes to Daniel Levy, the word cheap is his middle name. It's when we don't have that replacement, when we don't have the players that we wanted, and everyone goes, "Oh no, Daniel Levy's done it again. I can't believe he's gone too far."
Brian, I'm going to interrupt you just for a second. Mr. K, if you want to ride the mute button, you've got some background hiss.
Okay, no problem. Let me sort that out now.
Yeah. So just hit the mute when you're not speaking, and then there you go. And then you can rock yourself back in whenever you want. Because when you talk, you can't hear it. It's only when you're not talking that it's like coming through.
I just also want to say big up to the boys, you know, for doing all this. You know, I see them getting a lot of hate on Twitter, especially by like some of the bigger Twitter accounts.
You mean Ben and Sin?
Yeah, Ben and Sin. Yeah, the boys. You know, like they, you know, I just see like this happening, and you know, people just criticizing them. It's just like, you know, like, why are you doing that? Why are you kicking someone that's like literally trying to help the club that you love down when like you're not doing anything? You know, like, I don't get that. That for me is disgusting.
I'll tell you what, Marcelo. I actually, so I was watching before Stelios went live for Tottenham away in his little video he did yesterday, because it was only on his phone. I got up and started watching the We Are Tottenham TV live feed, and I, for the first time ever, had to leave that live chat. And the reason I had to leave that live chat is, like I said, I talk about it a lot. We did that May the 4th show for mental health. I was getting triggered so badly with some of the language and some of the comments about them
Yeah,
about the club, about the fans,
disgusting.
and I was about to explode on the live chat. And I thought, you know what? It's not good for me. I'm not going to get Ben and Sim into any kind of trouble with my language or what I'd say. But it was the first time I actually had to take a step back and go, whoa. It's disgusting.
Good
It's
for you,
disgusting.
Brian. Good for
But
you. At least
Ben and Sim, as we all know, as I call them, they're the mothership. They do everything. Their passion, their commitment, their desire, everything. The amount of content they put through during this lockdown is absolutely incredible and has helped so many Tottenham fans through this lockdown. And then people just talk like that to get their 15 minutes of glory or whatever. It's disgusting. It's appalling. Mate, do you know what? It just sums up our club right now.
Yeah,
It just sums up Tottenham Hotspur. It really does.
disgusting.
That's why I wanted to make sure that we talked about it too. Because Tommy kind of put a really impassioned video out there this afternoon. He seemed to be really down. He went 2 days in a row. And look, for people, if you went one of the 2 days, I say big up. Yeah, going 2 out of the 2 days is great. But if you could only go 1 out of the 2 days, that's fine too. You at least did something, right? Some part of it. It's far better than the people that did nothing. I don't know if it's this kind of language that got people like fighting about me at the protest. I don't know if that was today or yesterday. Apparently, it's one of the.
I'll tell you the truth. Yesterday was like, for me personally, it was just meeting people that I had seen online, and I got to see their faces, and I got to say, okay, right, fair enough. What's the plan? Well, we're going to come here. We're going to keep coming. But it's a case of like being consistent. Right. I'm not saying that we have to come every day, but we have to persistently come every week. And I've arranged a Saturday.
Yeah,
Sunday,
but that's the problem thing is that the thing is that these types of things tend to not grow. They tend to wane.
Well, we'll see. The point is, at the end of the day, we've started, and it wouldn't have got started, if we hadn't gone.
Yeah.
So for me personally, it was like once I made my mind, I was going to go. That was it. Bang. I was going. I had nothing else in my head.
I know, but you went. That's what I'm saying. I'm talking to the people who could have gone and didn't, who share our opinions and didn't. If you couldn't go, if it was your wife's birthday, right, or something like that, and she's not into football, I understand that you can't go. If you had a funeral, if you had a wedding, if you had to work and you couldn't get off, right? Like,
but
there are things that are more important than football in real life. But if you just sat at home on your couch and you live down the road and you're just watching it watching it and making fun of it on We Are Tottenham TV, I have a problem with those people.
I do. Yeah, I do too. I think those people and listen, the thing is, if it, Brian definitely knows, if I could be in England right there, side by side with them, we could protest all day. I would protest all day. Unfortunately, for people like me, and Will and Cody and Brian who lives in Canada right now, we can't go to the protests. You know what I mean? Our voices can't be heard. So this is our only platform, and we spend hours. Will, I've spent over 200 hours talking about this board and why they're absolutely disgusting. We also I don't want to big ourselves too much, but also international fans, we're also trying to do our part. And I'm just asking for the people that are in England and are Spurs fans and can't go, just go. Stop making fun of it. Just go. Be a man, not a couch potato.
Well, like I said, I've actually changed my holiday dates and delayed seeing my nephews and niece, sorry, so I can get there, so I could be there for both the NFL protests. Because whether that still goes ahead or not, I 100 billion% will be there. And I know about 20 friends that will be there with me as well. So I don't care. Like I said to you, Marcelo, on the Matt Hayes show, you and me together at the NFL, if you could get Jesus Christ, imagine you, me, still, megaphone, mate. I'm going to run.
I'd be there with my own megaphone. I'd be Alex Jones in that protest, dude. I'd be telling you what.
I'm going to run riot. Not violently. I am going to run goddamn riot. And like I said, every day, I'm going to walk from the Tottenham Hotspur training ground to the stadium every single day with a placard, a megaphone. Whether people join me or not, I don't care.
Brian,
I'm doing it every single day.
Guys, what do you think if the protest, right, wasn't about the numbers, but consistency. Even if it's small numbers, we do it consistently. Would it have a certain effect?
It doesn't matter. Honestly,
don't think
so. You need numbers. Numbers are important, and also you need to get everybody on board because, like for example, next season I haven't bought anything from the store since the Super League, and I will refuse to buy anything from the store. I used to be ENICOUT for a long time, but I was also half-assing it because the fact that I spent money on store meant like I'm supporting this. I'm still supporting this. So by next season and the season after that and the season after that, I will not be buying anything from the Tottenham Hotspur store. And trust me, it's hard because watching games like this, like I want to like a Pierre, Emil Højbjerg jersey so bad. You know me, I love my jersey. I have like a ton of collections of them, but I refuse to buy them. I will find maybe other stores. I will try to find other stores that sell it. But if it has any relations to ENIC or the Spurs shop, I will refuse to buy them, and so should every Spurs fan. That's how you hurt these guys.
Like I said to you, Marcelo, what we should do is go onto those retro online shops and just buy kits that were pre-ENIC.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna buy some retro jerseys.
Just don't.
Go get some Chinese knockoffs. There's a few websites that sell knockoffs.
Yeah.
You can get them personalized.
I can tell you that a lot of Asians do that. Yeah, we can't afford the prices sometimes, so we just go down to the street. Yeah, you have all the stalls out there on the roadside. They will sell all the jerseys, all the knockoffs.
There's also Sport Direct. There's MMA. Not MMA. Best Soccer Store. That's an American site that also does. But before I used to just buy it from the Tottenham store because one, it's just actually cheaper.
Their margins are higher. Yeah.
And two, like you can just do more like with personalization.
Club gets more piece of it.
Yeah.
I'm sure they get a little bit. Like if you go to like soccer.com or something like that, and you're buying shirts that are personalized, I'm sure the club gets a royalty.
Well, then I'm not buying from them.
Anything that's authorized or licensed, right? That means that they're getting a little bit of a royalty. The team is because they own the image rights to. I think in England they own the image rights to both the player and the club, right? So that was the whole Dybala issue, right? That in Italy the club doesn't own the player's image rights, so like Dybala gets a cut every time somebody buys a Dybala shirt, whereas Harry Kane doesn't get a direct cut every time someone buys a Harry Kane shirt. That all goes to Daniel Levy.
Bald-headed twat.
Yeah, but they.
I love you, Marcelo.
I'm sorry, it just came out like I didn't even mean to say it. It
there
just
are
came out.
knockoffs.
It comes out naturally in you, Marcelo.
If you go on wish.com or even just search on the internet, I think I can't remember the names of the stores right now. I don't necessarily need to promote those because I might get sued, but there are. Just Google search them, and you can find knockoff stuff where it looks exactly like it. It's just that the heat press of the logos in the front and the back aren't as high as quality after a few washings. If you don't make sure to turn it inside out every time, it'll start to peel off and fall off. And whereas the actual stuff tends to last quite a bit longer. But
I'll send you a link, Marcelo.
Brian's got a link. But DM, the protest live stream was filled with gooners mocking our protests. I don't blame them.
Yeah, I mean, but no, there was also a lot of fans that our own fans. I saw it on Twitter. Our own fans, saying, "Oh, the reason why we failed was because this guy is leading us," and it's a picture of like.
I don't really look at what's going on Twitter. All I know is that I got protest 19th. I've done 15th and got 19th next. As far as the frequency of the people that want to do this on a regular basis, we already said to ourselves we're going to dig in. It's going to take some time. We're just going to have to keep turning up. But we're going to turn up according to like how our body is and what our time schedules are and when it could be appropriate to do so. But we have to do it.
Look, I'm going to tell you right now that the reason it was the apology that came out on Tuesday that deflated the protest on Friday. I know it had an effect. The meeting on Tuesday is going to deflate the one on Wednesday.
But the thing is, if those things, and Brian made mention of this, the fact that it was scheduled the same day as the FA Cup, if the FA Cup and a lame ass apology from Tottenham that doesn't even have it's not even signed the board. You know, it's not even signed Daniel Levy. It's just a nameless, faceless, ambiguous, disingenuous excuse of an apology. If that and the fact that it was going to rain or whatever, if those things are enough to like get large swaths of people just to stay home, then how strong was the conviction behind the outrage in the first place? Like, have we just is it just a case where it's like people just don't feel that strongly about it, you know?
Cody, the part I get, Cody, mate, is this has happened time and time again. The Levy has screwed us over. We get to this fever pitch. One word gets said. Oh, all is forgiven, forgotten. And it's like we go to bed and that Men in Black thing, we get that red thing and we forget everything that's happened. Yeah. Then it happens again. That's exactly it. Then it happens again. It's like, oh no, we hate Levy. Look what he's done. Look at Mug. But nebulizer, bang, forget about it. It's like we've got Daniel Levy. It's like I don't know how many times we go over and over and over this scenario and get to where we are, or we haven't got this far before. And then he says one thing or plays one sleight of hand, and all is forgiven. And it will keep happening.
Yeah, look, I just think that people too, especially, I'm just gonna say it because Tommy was brave enough to come out and say some things.
Just go for a smoke.
All right, and I'm just gonna say it. I think there are people that like to jump on the bandwagon of issues online.
Yeah,
and they like to not really care about them. They're not serious about them. And that they just tend to, it can be creators, it can be anybody. If someone's sitting in there on the stream with them and they talk about being out, yeah, that's a good idea. But when push comes to shove, they don't have the guts like Mr. K or Stelios or Bob Spur or, who went down there after having heart surgery, dude. Like, stood on his feet, drove 7 hours, stood on his feet for 4 or 5 hours. Yeah. Didn't get back to his house. And first thing he did when he gets back to his house is jumping on streams again, 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
Tries to get up and go the next day, has, it's woken up in the middle of the night with some kind of issue to the point where he's even woken his kids up in the middle of the night and they've begged him not to go.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's just that the fans as a whole do not feel as strongly as the section that speak out about it, as especially in this online space, especially like they're I know what you're saying, like there's large swaths of people who are just kind of like bandwagon protesters that are never gonna if they have a choice between like working a shift or going to the protest, they're gonna work the shift. And so, or if if they have to go to their aunt's birthday party or go to the protest, they're going to go to their aunt's birthday party. Everybody has an excuse not to go, So
I mean, and this is what really pisses me off about it. Yeah, like I said this yesterday too. Danny said live on air that he couldn't make it, that he wasn't going to be able to make it because he had already had plans with his fiance or his wife or whoever it was, and ended up showing up anyway.
It was his birthday. It was his birthday that his girlfriend had like made some kind of plan for the day, right? Yeah, and I'm just saying that.
That's what I'm saying. There are people that care, but then there are fake people who talk a talk in order to gain popularity on social media, but really have no intent of doing anything about it.
So, like, is that how fake our fan base is as a whole?
100%.
Well, that's not just our fan base. That's just like every social media page. Like I said,
can't say that, Marcelo, when you compare us to the likes of Arsenal and Chelsea and Manchester United, who have shown some real teeth here, right? Clubs that have less reason.
Happen to Arsenal. Same thing's going to happen to Arsenal. Trust me. Same thing's going to happen. They're going to stop. They're going to buy the new jersey. They're not going to care.
At least they came out with a few thousand people once.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? At least they did it once.
Yeah.
We can't even get more than 500 people there.
Guys, we are the minority now, right? So I guess it's time that we try to build that minority and try to sway more people across. So
Yeah.
I think Reload's got it. I think Reload's hit it on the head right there. I really do. And so I'm going to be a leaving louder minority, and I'm going to start calling people out.
Yeah.
And if it hurts my channel, that's fine. But I'm going to tell you what, I don't think it will. I don't think that it will, because after that stream that I went on with David, while I was real hard, I got real loud. We jumped up by 16 subscribers in an hour.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm going to beat this drum harder, not to get more subscribers, but because I think it's when you're being genuine, when you're being honest, right?
Yeah.
And you get people that are coming in. You know, we had Peter in here yesterday ranting and raving about, you know, this and this. He's an ENIC inner, right? Da 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 da. Come on my show. Show's open for you. The link's pinned to the top. Come on the show. Right? Right? Don't be a keyboard warrior out there in the chat. If you disagree, come on the show. Let's talk about it. Debate me. If you're right, debate me. If you have good reasons, debate me. If you think I'm wrong, if you think I'm a crybaby fan or I'm a plastic fan or whatever, debate me. Debate me on the points. Talk to me about the points, the topics. And let's see which way the people will let the audience decide who the winner is.
I'm with Mr. K on this, in that regardless of what went on last weekend, regardless of what goes on this Wednesday, regardless of the challenges, the size of the mountain that needs climbed, it is up to us to continue to maintain the message and continue to discuss it, continue to educate, continue to try and bring more people into the conversation, more people on side with the way that we think, and because it's about what you believe in. If you really believe in that a change in ownership, or at the very least a change in the behavior of the current ownership, is paramount to the success of Tottenham Hotspur, the football club, then it really doesn't matter who else joins. It doesn't matter. You can be that one single guy standing on a soapbox on a corner with nobody listening to you, right? And I don't want to like compare our struggle as a fan base with some of the greater struggle, but like some of the biggest movements in the course of history have begun with a single person, right? So
can I tell you a bit of history about London and the UK when it comes to some bloke standing on a soapbox by himself in Hyde Park?
Sure.
And
Yeah.
that guy, somehow everyone in front of him either had a heart attack or fell off a cliff or got caught in bed, which they shouldn't have done, and they kept resigning. And the guy kept getting promoted and promoted in the Conservative Party until finally he became the Prime Minister. That crap can happen, especially in this country. That's why I said to myself, you know what, I've gone there, I've got to see what's the reality, who's really going to be there for the long term. And I said, listen, guys, let's come round. I said, we went out for a drink with Stelios. You know, Bobby was there. There's a bunch of us there. And we said, right, you know what? This seems like a good place right here, where you form something, where you discuss something. You've done the protest, now you do the discuss. Do you understand? As a group. And that's how you grow. You know, you educate, you grow. You know, you discuss. And that's what you're meant to do as adults. Each of you is powerful. Each of you has a voice. Each of you connects to somebody. You know? And that's how movements start. They start off small, trust me. But to me, I found them valuable. I found the people that were there were incredibly full of gold, because they turned up and they cared. You know, Tommy turned up for like a little while, but he cared so much. So I said to myself, you know what? In order to give these people a heart, you got to be consistent. So me and Wayne Bonner, we turned around to ourselves and we said, listen, you know what? What we're going to do is we're going to set it our pace, but we're going to be consistent. And over time, people will see. And sometimes it's in the doing, isn't it? At the end of the day. And we're capable of doing it. So I'll finish work at 4 o'clock and I'll be down there in Tottenham. Do you understand?
No, I mean, really what it takes is, I mean, I agree with you. Going out there and consistently doing is important, but it really takes us on here too, on these platforms, you know, David, Ben, and Sam. Anytime there's something that happens, we've got to be on the horn and we got to be screaming and ranting and raving about it, right? We got to be calling Levy names. Anytime there's an issue, right? That's how you keep it rolling. You got to feed the movement needs to be fed with new vitriol. Otherwise, it's out of sight, out of mind. If nothing if Daniel Levy were right now were to change, or not even change, but just be real, but keep it on the DL for a good 6 months, people would forget. Like we may not,
Right.
but your average person will forget. It's got to be fed with new incidents, right? Even if we're making a bigger deal than we should be, it's got to be. There has to be. It's what causes protests, mass protests, is continued outrage. There's
Yes.
got to be new outrage every time.
Yeah, I 100% agree.
And but what I'm trying to say is that it really isn't about like overthrowing ENIC in so much that if we continue on and we do not overthrow ENIC, that it's a failure. The victory is won by standing up for what you believe in, whether you end up successful or not, right?
Yeah.
If what you believe is that you want to affect this kind of change, it's not going to be all in your control. But at the end of the day, if you make your voice heard, if you stand up for what you believe in, you can hold your head up high, right?
Yeah.
That is the positive to be taken, because if at every step of the journey we are always focusing on the failures and the downside and the disappointment and the people who are belittling and attacking guys like Ben and Sim and Tommy and whatnot, right? If every time that we have a setback, we're going on our platforms and talking like Bobby and Tommy did, that doesn't really help what we're trying to accomplish, right?
Well, nobody's original nowadays, lads. Let's not, cut around the bush. Let's not, be nice. Nobody's original. Nobody has an original thought. Nowadays it's if Alistair Gold said it, then it must be it. You know what I mean? If this guy said it, this guy's popular said it, then that's what must be it. If Kanye next week says he's a Spurs fan and that he supports ENIC, everybody's going to be a Spurs fan and support ENIC. You know what I mean? Like everybody just looks up to these other figures, and these social media platforms. They say the same crap over and
Well,
over.
then maybe
again.
I need to start doing reaction videos. Maybe I need to start punching up the ladder instead of punching down. Instead of arguing with people like Peter Moore in the comments, maybe I need to start pulling in videos from Chris Cowan and Expressions and hearing them make comments about it and calling them out, like reaction videos. You know what I'm talking about? Like they do politically. Well, a guy will pull in like a statement from some, because they're public figures, pull them in and start punching uphill.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Calling them out, holding their feet to the fire, making them look, because once you can kind of force them to start doing something, right?
Yeah.
Who knows?
No, because
it may be the death of me, maybe the death of my channel. I don't know, but I don't think it will be because I don't think I'm wrong.
But the thing is, what I'm trying to say is that, like, there was a lot of things that, like, for example, when I said, Aurier is shit, right? At that time, he had a great game against United. I don't know if you remember that pre-match, interview, but Aurier was the hot shit at that time. Everybody's saying he's back. You know what I mean? Oh, he's good. Under Mourinho. And I said, no, he's shit. Taganga is better than them. And people are like, oh, Marcelo, you're an idiot. Like people are so quickly to jump on the wagon and say you're an idiot for any new ideas. Like for me, I get criticized, and you'll be surprised of how many DMs I get because I criticize Ndombele, and how people call me like an idiot and say like I'm racist and shit, which makes absolutely no fucking sense. Since I'm mixed culture. Two, it's just like just because I criticize a player that's African American does not make, or from African heritage does not make me that at all. But three, it's just like it's so stupid. You know what I mean? Like, tell me why I'm wrong, right? Nobody can tell me. I say Ndombele, he doesn't run off the ball, he doesn't do the fundamentals at times, he gets lazy, and he can offer us more. And then people just say you're an idiot, and they don't try to explain it to it, because if they go anywhere against what's the norm, they get criticized. You know what I mean? Because right now the norm is Ndombele is the hottest prospect. Ndombele is press resistant. Ndombele is a baller. Ndombele is silk. And don't get me wrong, there is potential in Ndombele. when I talk about him, I still always say there's potential, and he just needs to work hard, and he can offer us more. But people like are just so quick to disregard any new ideas, anything that's out of the norm, and not think for themselves, not actually generate any of their opinion, because they're so fed of what social media tells them that they feel like they need to be on board because they don't want to be an outcast. David and I, and this whole panel, I would say, we don't care about what's the trend. I care what I think, and my opinion is what I think. You know what I mean? Like when I say I believe Taganga is our best right back, I damn well fucking mean it. That's for me. That's not because I listen to Alistair Gold. It's not because I watch some dude from from Twitter who has like 1 million subscribers or followers, and I want to just get popularity. I say it because that's my opinion. I'm original, and so is everybody here. But a lot of people in this fan base are not fucking original and are not man enough to step up and say what's real and what's fucking real. Like Ndombele, he should be doing more. This is fucking Tottenham Hotspur, not a little, beach session, not a little, private vacation. This guy's walking in the pitch. You should never tolerate walking in the pitch. And people, say, oh, Marcelo, you're so Brexit. All you care is about passion and desire. Yeah, I do care about passion and desire. He's playing for my fucking club. And a player doesn't show passion and desire should get the fuck out and should show some. You know what I mean? Doesn't cost much to show passion and desire.
Yeah, and I don't disagree with you. I think you're 100% right. And also too, and I think this kind of ties into DM's question here: is Chris Cowan ENIC in or ENIC out? The fact is, we don't know, and that's the problem, right? I don't mind him being in if he's in, right? If you're in, come out, grab your sack, and say I'm in. I don't want him to go, right? Like I respect people like Peter out there in the comments. Even though I disagree with what he's saying, I think he's annoying 90% of the time. At least I give him credit for having the sack to come out and say, I'm ENIC in. Right? If you're ENIC out, say you're ENIC out. It's this wishy-washy, lukewarm, fence riding fan base. It's really getting on my nerves.
Will,
you
could say the same thing about like people in general. Like there's a lot of people who will like just try and keep their hands clean of political issues, or it doesn't bother me as much, It doesn't bother me as much for someone like Chris Cowan, who he has his channel, he has his followers, he has his bread and butter, and he sticks to it.
Sponsors. We are talking to CBS sponsors too, and they have no problem putting an ENIC out sign on their desk today, or signs in the background.
The thing is, not everybody has to be involved in the fight.
But if you're not involved in the fight, say you're not involved in the fight.
But you're asking, you're saying specifically, no. You're trying to tell him that he needs to be either ENIC in or ENIC out, and he needs to grab his ball sack, right?
Or that's taking a side of the argument. Because when he comes on his live streams and he's on panels, and he says when he comes in on panels and say that he agrees with people when he's talking to ENIC out people, and then he's on the fence when he's talking to people who are on the fence, and he's ENIC in when he's talking to people on the ENIC in. To me, that's two-faced, and he needs to pick his position and stick with it, not flip-flop with who he's talking to. That's the kind of crap
that wasn't clear with what you were saying.
That's what I'm meaning, right? In his little one-on-one videos that he does with updates of the club, he doesn't get political at all, and that's fine. That's not the place for that type of stuff, right? But when he's on panels with people, when Bob Spurs on and he's talking to Bob, he's this guy or that guy. I'm sick and tired of Spurs fans playing the devil's advocate and switching sides on whatever position that they hold regarding to who they're talking to, because they don't want to offend them, or they don't want to get called out live on air. Like Chris, I would love to come on your channel, but you probably shouldn't bring me on, because I'm going to ask you questions that you probably don't want to answer.
The thing is also like, I understand, the thing is, I love expressions, right? But like, he's also another guy. Like, I gotta say, like, I mean, his channel is different. He's more like just tongue in cheek. He's more like jokes. He's more like hype, man. I mean, obviously,
entertainment.
He's entertainment, but like at the same time, he's also got a big following, man. And maybe
very big following.
Maybe you should do a little bit more for
Levy. He's
That's
always
true.
cussing out Levy. He's always cussing out the players. He's always cussing out something else. So instead of just getting mad and
I just
enraged
suspected
to
him.
get clipped on purpose, right? Because he's like, no, I ain't getting clipped, bruv. I ain't getting clipped today, bruv. No. And then he keeps going, knowing that he's going to get clipped,
Yeah.
right? Because any exposure is good exposure, right? All
Yeah.
publicity is good publicity.
But he
I
doesn't
like
do
expressive
shit.
stuff.
But he
It's
doesn't
funny.
do shit for the club really. Like Ben and Sim is getting hate, but like the amount of hours they actually spend, like Ben and Sim actually like give a fuck about Tottenham. Honestly, like when I watch their like this is why I love the two boys. This is why like they're like I always supported them. Like they actually care about the club. They actually care about the club. Like
No, you get like George
expression-
Aquila, and I like his stuff too. Or I used to watch a lot of his stuff. I don't watch a whole lot of it anymore, just because there's too much content now with the smaller channels that I'm involved with. There's not enough hours in the day to watch everybody, so I tend to skip the bigger channels and give my support to the little guys. And then you have that one dude that always watches it with his dad. What's his name? He's got like 30,000 subscribers.
Baghdad? Is that
Yeah,
what
so
talking
he's
about?
on. He goes on Holly's channel every now and again.
Mm.
Holly Agnebar's channel. I can't remember who it is, but there's a lot of things, right? And I'm just saying, look, if you don't look, if I'm talking to Bob Spur and I'm not Enoch in, then I shouldn't be talking like I am. And Bob's Enoch out. I shouldn't be talking like I'm Enoch out if I'm not Enoch out. I shouldn't. If I disagree with Bob, I shouldn't be. You could be like, "Look, Bob, I respect your opinion, but I disagree." I mean, how many times have we had those conversations, Marcelo, you and me on David's channel with anybody, with each other, with somebody else, where we can yell and scream at each other? Just because we're yelling and screaming at each other doesn't mean we don't come off in the backstage after the show and laugh and joke and say, "What a great show! I had a lot of fun." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just because it gets heated on stream doesn't necessarily mean that we dislike each other. We have integrity. To me, that's what integrity
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
No matter where I go, my word is the same.
Well, I swear to God, you can get, Alex, and we'll probably argue whether the sky is blue or not. You know what I mean? Like, we can argue about anything, man. Him and I, we can't see eye to eye to almost anything about football. But I love the guy, and he has integrity, and I respect him. Because you know what? At least he stands up something, like, he actually believes what he says. Like, don't get me wrong, I think it's delusional as fuck. But like, he actually believes in it. So I gotta respect that. I gotta respect the guy for that. But like sometimes like I come across some of these fans and it's just like, you don't believe what you say, man. You know what I mean? Like this whole, like I remember this Eric Van Dyer stage. I'm like, you don't believe what you're saying. Like you don't believe it. And like when people were talking about, Levy, there's such, they build a training ground and stuff like this. And I'm like, you're just saying that because that's what's popular right now. But if you actually look at it, they've been a big failure. And then, people at that time, criticized Brian and I, saying, oh, we're idiots. Oh, we're not grateful enough. Grateful for what, man? For killing my club. For one trophy for 20 fucking years. You know what I mean? That's what I would say to these people. For spending fuck all. For having one of the few net spends. For spending less than championship clubs. That's why we should be grateful for. But people are like, no. They got us to Champions League finals. They built a new stadium. They're making us into a big club. And then it all falls down. And then they fall flat on their face because, they just listen to Alistair Gold. They just listen to these other guys. They just, want to do it for views. And then when it's Enoch out, then everybody's Enoch out. You know what I mean? It's funny how all these guys that used to support Enoch and like one day they're Enoch out. Because it's popular, because, some guy with 1 million followers is saying, oh, Enoch out. So then that guy is just like, he wants to get, catch some, trend, catch some hype, catch some, some clout. So then he says Enoch out. It's just like none of it is caring for the club. You know what I mean? None of it's because of the club. Everybody
I would say that I was probably in a similar position to Ben and Sim, before this ESL thing where, yeah, I didn't like the way that Daniel Levy spent money or bought people or didn't buy people. But it wasn't to the point where I was like, I wasn't Brian Daigle livid about it, right? I wasn't Stelios livid about it.
True. But the thing is, Will, you actually went and argued and tried to make points. You know what I mean? You didn't just regurgitate.
Sure. I never regurgitate
same,
other people's thoughts. I have my own. Yeah.
Exactly. And that's what I'm saying is that, like, when I argue with these people on the internet, these so-called fans on the internet, I just hear the same shit over and over again, and it's like I'm talking to like bots. It's honestly like it might not even be real Spurs fans. It might be Daniel Levy's bots, because like I hear the same like Ben Davies is a squad player. Oh, like Enoch built a new stadium. It's the same shit over and over. Nobele is the most press resistant midfielder in the world. It's just like Jesus Christ. I might as well just get a tape recorder and record every single one of you. Get an original idea, please. Like that's all I ask.
Marcelo, I was like a lot of people before, was asking questions. When you start asking questions, you start coming to seeing like the pattern being formed year after year. You start to look back, and when you have a new realization, you think, hold on a second, that year when that happened, is that what was behind it? You start to form these patterns. And then finally, when the ESL came, right, yeah, and the statement that came afterwards, and they want to expire the next 2 days, like literally, it shocked me, and I thought to myself, this is so blatant. Like, you've insulted my intelligence. Before it was like a puzzle I was trying to piece together. Now all of a sudden it's like in my face. It's like, oh my days. And I thought, that's it for me.
I got to interrupt you just for a sec, Mr. K, just for a sec, because I have to clear this up because I think this is important. And then I'm sorry to interrupt, but this conversation that's going on in the side chat here needs to be addressed. Alistair Gold is not a fan. Right? He's not one of us. He's not a super fan. He's a journalist. Right? So his job is to report the information that he has, not necessarily to make editorial comments on it. He does.
It's his job to be impartial.
Right? He's never gonna come out and say the things that I can say. Right? Because my livelihood isn't attached to the words that come out of my mouth. Like even when I hit over 1,000 subscribers, or I hit 10,000, or I hit 100,000. Right, the people who are following my channel are doing so because they want to hear whatever content that I'm making.
Ali Gold is not a fan channel.
Yeah, it's not a fan channel. He's not a fan channel. You should go watch his videos. I mean, you don't have to subscribe to him if you don't like what he says. But you should go and listen, because you don't want to be in an echo chamber. You want to hear both sides of the story. You want to gather all possible information, think on it, make rational decisions, and then move forward from there. Like I watch every Ali Gold video that comes out.
I actually find Ali Gold to be fairly critical, considering that he is a member of the media.
I think he's far more critical than some of the fan channels out there. Let's put it that way.
No,
absolutely.
And I'm not trying to take a dig at Ali Gold. What I'm trying to say is, a lot of the people who just listen to him, like, one, they don't take it with a grain of salt. Two, they just take everything he says as facts and just just say exactly what he says. It's like if I was watching your channel, Will, and I was a viewer, and then and I made a case about Lamella, and I just kept saying the same thing you said and not done my own research. You know what I mean? You never know. Maybe there's something out there. You know what I mean? You gotta like, what I'm trying to say is, like, also do a little bit of your own research, form your own opinion. Like you and I, we mostly agree on Lamella, but there's also other points where you and I disagree about Lamella. Where we've had arguments about it.
So, Mr. K, what were you saying? I'm sorry to interrupt you, but that was just a conversation that was going in the wrong direction, and I didn't want to not speak on it.
No, no, I pretty much caught on to what you guys were saying. No. I don't know what I was saying earlier, so you have to remind me. Sorry, I lost my train of thought.
You were talking about the process of asking questions and coming to the opinions that you have now that you necessarily didn't have before.
Basically, what I was trying to tell Marcelo was that basically, like, him and David were like on this train a lot longer, and people like Brian were on it a lot longer than others, and even like people like Lockman have been watching from afar for a long time. And for me, it was the same thing where I was asking questions, but I wasn't really connecting with people. So when I started asking questions in the right places, I always got bashed. But then when I started coming to the right channels, it was like people were saying the same thing. They were already on it a bit longer than me. So the watershed moment for me basically was the ESL. And that coincided with me having connected with all these, people who were saying things that I needed to hear. Getting rid of the the brain fogging that Levy had done over me for so many years of being a Spurs fan because you love the club. When you love something so much, you forget about the bashing that Levy's been giving you over the time. You get conditioned in a certain way. And that's what basically, Marcelo and David have been trying to do. And I think, Will, you've been trying to do, and Cody, you've been trying to do, and Lockman, now you've got a voice, you're trying to do. And this community that's been formed right now, at its core, is based on hard truths. We face them, you understand?
Yeah, no, 100%. And I also too feel like Ron O'Connor, don't feel bad at all, dude. I'm not trying to hit you with a hammer either. I'm simply just trying to say, I don't. If you want to, I don't think that Ali Gold has a suit of armor against being criticized either, right? If he says something that you disagree with, criticize him. But what I just wanted to make clear was that he's different than me. He's different than Marcelo. He's different than Cody and Mr. K. We're giving an editorial opinion. He's not, right? That's the difference. So the expectation just has to be fair. If you want to criticize him, go ahead, criticize him. I'm fine with that. I'm not against him being called out if you disagree with what he's saying or the position that he holds. You be you. What I'm just saying is that there's a difference between our two styles of channel. He's not a fan channel, right? He is he's more of a football daily versus a Arsenal TV, right? He's not we are fans who are who are talking about our opinions, right? They're educated opinions, but there are opinions. And Ali Gold is not really, he may give a little bit of opinion in a when he talks about a specific topic, but it has nothing to do, it's not the same kind of channel. So I don't think saying why doesn't he call out leaning, I don't think that's a fair criticism. But I mean, if you want to say it, go ahead. You're free to say that. You don't have to apologize or change or do whatever. Wasn't my intention.
Yeah.
And the people who are going after him in the comments for saying that, I think it's a little bit harsh. To be honest, that wasn't the point.
Yeah. But what do you think, guys? Like what Mr. K says is correct. All these years, Levy has brain fogged us, right? So maybe the ESL did wake some of us up, but some of us are still in an abusive relationship. You understand what I'm saying? And we've been abused so much all these years that we are so used to it. And when you're in an abusive relationship and you're so passionate about a thing, it's like, I can't be a Chelsea fan now, but I still have to stick with Spurs. So we take it and we take it and we take it. So I guess it's time now, it's right, that we have to stand up, be awake, see the facts, see the reality. And of course, a lot of people will be saying, oh, we got this beautiful stadium, we got this, we got that. Oh, we are top 4, we're becoming a big club, and now we're a big club. But what's about all the behind things that we don't see? The money he has spent, right, in the transfer market, and the wastage that's been going on, right? And we must always remind the fans, whatever he has built, right, is based all on loans. It wasn't like Lewis brought out $1 billion and said, okay, build a stadium and we make the money back and I'll take the money back from there. No, he went to a bank, got low interest, correct? And now the money has to be generated back by the fans to pay back that loan. That means that indirectly, we are supposed to own it, not them. So I think a lot of fans don't see that part. So in the end of the day, we have to educate. To show the fans out there. Yeah.
Problem is, that's what people do all the time. They use other people's money to make money for themselves.
Yeah, I understand that part, but but a lot of fans, I mean, I understand the business model is good, blah, 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 but in the end, you neglect the football. I mean, if you don't neglect the football and you do what you did, like the Glaziers, when they bought MU, they took out a loan of £400 million or something like that to buy out all the shares and to take it private. And that's why the MU fans are so upset, because they didn't come out their own money to buy the club. They took a loan to buy the club, and they used the fan money to pay back that loan, and now they own the club, not the fans. See? So maybe our fans don't see that. So we have to have more dialogue with those who don't see that, and we try to see what kind of fan you are. right? I'm not saying plastic fan or whatever. Of course, every football club have different degree kinds of fans. You know, like you say, some are in it out, some are in it in, some don't care, just sit on the fence. Some are saying, I just want to watch the football, right? That's all. You see? So in the end of the day, the numbers do count, but like I said, at all of a sudden, after what happened a few days ago, I do feel like we are now the minority. But even as the minority, we still are a section of something. We can build on it. We have to build on it. If we really want change, we have to build. If not, it will just go away again.
Yeah, but we are at the hour and a half mark. And so Facebook, I'm saying goodbye to you. If you are watching on Facebook, there is nobody watching right now. But if you are watching on Facebook, come over and subscribe to the YouTube channel, and you can watch the rest of the show. But right now we are only on YouTube and Twitch. Boom, 600 subscribers achieved May 16th. It was actually yesterday, but that's one the thing. Thank you guys. That's all for you. This is our mid. Make sure to like, subscribe, and comment on the videos. That's our mid-show commercial. And it's also the time where I go break the seal. I'll be right back.
Cody in charge.
So one thing that I want to talk about, like, I think if we're going to like if this movement is going to continue, it's clear that we need to grow the number of people that agree with us, because like you were saying, Eugene, it's pretty clear that from the action on the weekend that we're relatively in the minority at this point. And yeah, you know, like, I think it's so easy to like take someone who is currently ENIC in or ENIC neutral and accuse them of, you know, not loving the club or not understanding, you know, what ENIC have done, or just being a plastic fan, or like using all these kind of derogatory terms. But I would just ask the other people on the panel, like, what do you think is the best way to actually like engage with someone who you think you might be able to bring into the conversation?
So,
Abdul.
what's going on, man?
What's up, Abdul?
What's going on?
Same old, Abdul.
Same old, man. Same old.
Yeah, same old.
Mr. K, what do you think about what I just asked?
I don't know. I'm just gonna. I tell you the truth. For me, it's like I was there and I saw things, and I'm still coming to terms with them, and I'm trying to feel positive light. But the game happened, and I wasn't even in the game. It's like a ghost walk today. Honestly, I have. Not in the best of moods to be able to speak about certain things. I'm just going to log on. I'm a bit tired. I'm going to call it a night. Abdul,
Okay.
You might take over for a while. I'm sorry, guys. Early start tomorrow for me.
No worries, no worries.
Yeah, take care, Mr. K.
All right, peace out. Listen, have a good night.
Peace out. Good night.
Right.
Yeah.
Eugene, what do you think about, like, what is the best way to approach someone who, you know, who disagrees with our position?
First of
Because
all,
we can't just like engage in like this like derogatory. It's a non-starter, right? To
It's
take
never
someone
a
who
good
is
start,
and just start with the position that, okay, well, you must not love the club. It's not reasonable, you know. Like, there are people all throughout the fan base who have genuine love for the club that may not agree with what you have to say. So it's like it's just an interesting question.
Yeah, I mean, it's not to say that I want to say that we don't love the club. I mean, all of us love the club, right? But I'm saying is that we have to educate, and everyone has got their own opinion. I mean, everyone has got their own where they want to stand. But even if like now we feel like we are the minority, but we have to build on it. And in the end of the day, we have to take a step at a time, right? And the thing is that a lot of the fans, whether they're on the fence or whether they are in, they don't come out and talk about it. Or maybe we don't see them come out and talk about it. They talk about it among themselves. And of course, if they talk about it among themselves, maybe they're laughing at those who want the out part, right? But at least get some engagement, some dialogue, understanding among the fans, right? Because in the end of the day, we all want one objective is that we want the club to be better, okay? Both financially and football-wise, okay? I mean, if you take it all as a business, we're fantastic, bro. Right? We've been churning out profits for the past 5 years. Okay, we've got a beautiful stadium, but on the football side, like Leicester, they've won two titles in 5 years, 6 years.
Big club, well-run club. Congratulations.
Well-run club. So that's what I'm saying. Somehow or another, maybe it's the culture, right? How you see Leicester came from Championship, and maybe the year before they were in League Two. They built themselves up all the way.
Yeah,
they built themselves up all the way, and the culture of the owner, humble, right?
Shocking.
It's so he's so humble. I mean, maybe that's part of the Southeast Asian culture too, and especially if you're Thai people are brought up in that way. You see, a lot of Thai people, I mean, not all maybe, but a lot of Thai people are brought up in that way. For us is that maybe we focus too much onto one side of things and lost focus on the other side of things. And us fans are caught in between.
He just cares about the club. That's the thing. The owners actually care about Leicester. You know, it's been a family-owned business for a long time, and you can see from the kid's face, you know, you really saw that he felt like he did his dad proud. You know, that was a big moment for him.
He was gonna cry.
Yeah, he was gonna cry because he actually cares about the club. It's not a cash cow to him, and you know, this is what I'm talking about. This is actually an owner that cares about the club, and you know, yeah, sure, you know, people can say, oh, you know, like. They're only happy because they also got top 4. They're gonna get top 4, right? Listen,
and the club does a lot of community
that.
service, right? To the surrounding communities, they help them out and all that in this bad times and all that.
He actually cares. He cares about the culture, the community, and we don't have that. And you know, it's just shocking because, you know, and I'm not trying to take a dig at Leicester. Actually, I'm so impressed by Leicester, and you know, they're such a well-run club, and you know, football won that night because they deserve it more than Chelsea. You know, they're an actual club that came from, you know, a lower division and actually built themselves up the proper way.
Humble beginnings.
Yeah, the proper way, not, you know, just oil money. You know what I mean? Like, that's a club you gotta respect. So I respect Leicester, but 30 years ago, we used to be a club like that. 30 years ago, we used to be a club of respect. 30 years ago, we used to be a club that was, you know, FA Cup record holders. We used to be a club that won, you know, the first, you know, English club to win a European trophy. We used to be a club that, you know, used to go to finals. We used to be a club that used to win trophies, you know, 3 or 4 trophies every 10 years. You know what I mean? We used to be that type of club.
Marcelo,
but
okay.
Now after that,
30 years ago, 40 years ago, there is a large group of fans who went through the period that we nearly became non-existent.
In the 90s, and you know what's crazy then? And you know what's crazy? When
that's why now those the mindset of those people are set that when Levy came in, he stabilized us in a certain sense in the financial way. You see? But of course, I understand what you're saying. But maybe that's why I'm not saying I'm for him or anything. I'm just saying that maybe there's a big group of people with mindset that during that period of time, that when we nearly lost the club, and when he stepped in, and he has brought the club forward, right, to where we are now, they feel indebted to him for that situation. That's what I'm just trying to say. Just to put that, if you're in that mindset.
Yeah, but I will say this. I also ask a lot of people in the 90s who went through that dark period, and they said there was more a collective group, there was more a unity in the fan base, and there was more love for the club than now.
I I think that is a little bit emblematic of the change in football globally, though, Marcelo. The fact is that there's been so much money injected into the sport now that those types of relationships have been watered down to a certain degree. You know, like you're talking about when we used to win 3 and 4 trophies in any given decade. I mean, it was.
Yes, guys, you know what time it is. Intro by David at the Irish Hotspur, Ireland's #1 Spurs fan.
I got this because David has said that it's a new requirement to come on his shows. You must wear a flat cap. It's a new
Kieran,
requirement.
That looks really good at you, Will.
I just want to welcome Kieran to the conversation. You've been sitting quietly.
Reporting for duty.
Yes, absolutely. And what an amazing shirt you're wearing. And we can't see it anymore, but he's got a Nirvana shirt on right now. Absolutely fantastic. That takes me back to some depressing days in my teen years.
Teen
but
spirit.
what do you have to say about the protests and the state of the ENICOUT movement at the moment?
Well, yeah, I mean, I have to say, getting up and seeing the footage of the protests yesterday was really disappointing. I expected more. I don't know, maybe like you guys, I also have said that maybe we underestimated how many people are actually on this campaign with us, and it showed. I think the timing is also difficult because I know lockdown regulations are starting to ease up over there. People have been pent up, and in the UK they've been like in and out and in and out, as we're like in the US it's kind of been this like gradual release of restrictions. Well, depending on where you live, there might have never been any in the first place, but
There is restrictions in the US.
yeah, but I think because of the timing of that, when they all got out there, you lose focus because it's like, holy crap, I'm surrounded by people. I haven't done this in so long. Because, for example, I'm fully vaccinated now. I live in Virginia. We're like at 40-50% total vaccination. And I went to a concert the other week. It was just like some local show in somebody's barn, and I heard live music for the first time in over a year, and it was just a shocking emotional experience.
Oh, man.
I can imagine for those guys who haven't been in the stadium, it could be a similar feeling. And so you're out there and with all your guys and you're singing songs, and at first it's, Daniel Levy, get out of our club. But then, it's like, feels like I'm in the stadium again. You got to consider the human component here is basically what I'm getting at.
He wouldn't care. The thing is,
an
Karen, he wouldn't care because you know what he'd be listening to? He'd be listening to all of those fans that paid tickets, that gave him money on his purse, telling him to get out of the club, and he's gonna be laughing that in the bank.
Yeah.
You know how you do that properly. You don't go to the games. You stay out of the stadium, and you actually sing that outside of the stadium.
Just on what Kieran said, I just want to say, man, that is so sweet that you got to go and see live music. I live in Ontario, and right now I'm hurting so bad, and I don't want to compare my plight to those of who suffer in reality. Like I'm suffering like first world problems. I don't deal with hunger. My country is not war torn. I'm not like complaining, but like Ontario right now, we are under some of the strictest COVID protocols that in the world right now. Like we are the only state or province in the world that has banned golf. And I love golf. Golf got me through the winter. Winters suck in Canada. I was just hanging on to that. I've been trapped at home this entire time with 2 kids that are like 3 and 1 years old, and I'm fucking losing my mind, and Tottenham Hotspur are not helping at the moment. And I just was like so just reaching for golf, and it's gone now until at least June 3rd. And I just, when you said that you went to a live concert, I know that the states are so far ahead of us in terms of like vaccine rollout and everything, and some states are more relaxed
because
than
we're
others.
hoarding it all and not sharing.
Yeah,
because,
it's the
you know,
money.
that's what America does. Yeah,
It's the money. It's the money.
like with the gas.
But-
Everybody's pouring
Yeah,
gas
but-
now.
It's interject. While I was breaking the seal, Cody was asking for some very interesting questions on how do we approach people who think differently than us. I think that one way that we do that is by and yes, I listen when I leave my chair. I listen.
You're always listening.
I'm always listening. I'm always
Okay,
watching.
Will. Okay.
I think the way I would do it, right? The way I would do it, and I have a different style than Cody. We have different styles. I'm a little more, I guess you could say, blunt. My point is that if people are going to call me out, I'm going to call them out. And but when they finally come to the light is when I welcome them with open arms. Right? It's not I'm going to call you out. If you're going to call me out, I'm going to call you out. But when you come to my team, I'm going to say welcome to the team. Right? I'm not going to be the kind of guy that says, "No, you missed the boat. You're too late. Right? You used to be this. Right? You're a flip-flopper." I'm just going to be like, "Hey, welcome to the team." Right? And to do more to educate, I think that here on the channel, we'll probably start doing more shows where we start going through the things that Levy had done and trying to educate as well as I don't want to say humiliate, but I only thought of that word because it rhymed with educate and wanted to get a little freestyle going on. But yeah, no, I think that we need to educate, and I think it takes both sides. I think we need people like Cody, right, who's calm and collected and not so easily up in someone's face. It takes people like, you know, David, Marcelo, and I who will get in your face, but are also friendly enough that when you finally come to the light, we'll receive you with open arms. I think it takes the whole community in a bunch of different ways.
Oh, I'm done being a nice guy. I'm just calling it out.
Wait till I tell my wife that you said you were blunt and that I'm not. I am like the most blunt person in my circle, in my web. Like.
But you're Canadian. I'm American, so Canadian bluntness is like American greatness, right?
American nicety. Yeah. Or maybe you just haven't seen my blunt side yet. Who knows?
Maybe.
Actually, you know, one thing I had a professor that was Canadian, and she said that Canadians, although they are known to be nice, when you are rude to them, they're also like, just because they're like so polite that they expect other people to be polite, and when you don't give that same respect, they can actually be like really, really like.
My God, Arthur Everett!
What are you still doing awake, Arthur?
I love you, Arthur.
Wow, how
Arthur,
Arthur still
I
awake?
loved watching your Spurs story.
He probably just got up, more likely.
Yeah, like
You know.
to piggyback off your point, to continue, you need like a platform like this, and you need people from both perspectives, both sides. You need obviously like a David or like a Will Stewart, and then you also need like an Alex who may be on the opposite spectrum, and then you need to kind of have like a decent conversation to where the people who are like pro ENIC can while watching this video can say to themselves, you know what, like this is not like just this is not just like some platform where you only have to be one side. This is a platform that will welcome all types of Tottenham fans, no matter what you support, like how you support them or whatever, right? And another point that you were talking about is like why the protests yesterday was weak. Let's be honest, it only had like about 500 people. I think there's like a lot of people that is kind of given up and kind of doesn't believe that a protest will really change anything. And I think in order for them to actually change their mindset or kind of have more belief that a protest can actually work is, I think if you have one of the big owners, so like if you have like one of the Glazers or maybe like the FSG or like the Kroenkes, which Arsenal fans have been like very vocal about the Kroenkes for years, a lot more vocal than Tottenham fans about, let's be honest. Arsenal fans have been, I think, a little bit more louder about the Kroenkes, about their discomfort and wanting them out for a longer period of time. And they have more influencers, I guess, that are echoing those same sentiments. So until you get like the Glazers,
They're on the decline.
Sorry,
Because they're on the decline. Spurs are
what
like
about the Glazers though?
We're on
Well,
the
the thing is,
Yeah,
well,
it's on-
well, we've been on the decline since the 90s, lads. Let's be real here.
allow me
But
to
the,
finish.
but the
Like,
thing is,
Well,
also,
I mean, in terms
Arsenal. No, but the difference is Arsenal fans knows, and I hate saying this, but they know how it feels to be like winners. Tottenham fans don't know what it feels like to be a winner. No,
Yeah,
we
no-
don't. We don't. We
No
never
one
won
alive
anything.
now.
No
Maybe
one alive.
Arthur.
Maybe
Arthur's
Arthur.
the only one.
Like
the older generation,
it's not a coincidence that Brian, Arthur,
Eugene.
a lot of the older guys hate like Enoch because they understood what this club used to be. The newer fans like me, it took some, like, for me, like, I went and back and did my research. I read our history. Like, I watch We Are Tottenham TV. They've helped me out, like, understanding our history. And I know what we used to be, and I know what we have become. A lot of our fan base don't know what we used to be. They just see what we are now and see that we are Spursy.
I think that's a big part of the problem, Marcelo. I think that's a big part of the problem. You look at the other fan bases that have had stronger response to this Super League debacle. It doesn't make sense. It's like but thing is, Spurs fans, if you were born after the 1991 FA Cup, you don't really know what it's like to be a truly successful club. So, like, some of these other clubs like Arsenal and Manchester United, where you've seen strong backlash.
Wigan has more success than us. Wigan, lad. Wigan.
Yeah.
Oh, the FA Cup.
Wigan, lad.
Well,
Leicester.
I don't measure success.
Swansea.
Where are Wigan? Where are Wigan? Right?
But they know what
that's a whole other
winners.
conversation.
FA
All
Cup
I'm saying is
champions.
that
That's where they
all
are.
I'm saying is that we have never been brought to the levels that the other 5 clubs from England that are involved in the Super League have been brought to. Right? All 5 of those clubs have a Premier League title under their belt. We haven't won a league title since 1961.
What do you mean have an FA Cup under their belt in the Premier
I think
League
this
era?
is where this comes into this next question here, and I don't want to throw this as an American top fast. Being an American, how do we help the English Spurs fans protest? Here's how you can help them out, right? We obviously can't be there. If you can't be there, if you don't have the fees.
Sorry.
What are you doing?
Sorry, my bad.
Answer the question.
Nope.
Being an American, how do we help the English Spurs fans protest? How you help them protest is by A1, getting on as many channels as you can and going in the comments, not being a dick, but going in there and educating and having conversations with people, right? Trying to get them to open them up. Boom, 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 boom. How you can help is go around. You got a Facebook group. You got a local group. Share these videos. Share my videos. Share David's videos. Share Tottenham Way's videos. Share those videos. Get kicked out of Facebook groups for sharing as many videos as you can, right? Unless it's one that you actively participate in, don't get kicked out of that one. But if join new Facebook groups that you're not a part of now, spam them, and I don't mean spam them like post like 10 times a day, but start sharing those videos in that stuff to build awareness, right? Every single one of us, even this tiny little channel, there's 600 of us. If 600 of us share 3 videos a day, right, that gives the possibility of hitting, say the Facebook groups are 3,000 or 4,000 people. You've got the ability to educate and bring people in, and we got to grow the movement, right? It's got to go grassroots, door to door evangelism here on ENICOUT LEVYOUT, right? Heck, just do it once a day.
I'll say this: it takes a lot of effort because honestly, I'm getting sick and tired of trying to teach these people and trying to read them knowledge because honestly, our fan base is the most deluded, spineless.
Well, that's why I think just share the video, man. Share the video and say Enoch out, right? Or these guys are making great points on Daniel Levy. Not just the boring ones. If I'm talking about or the funny, humorous ones, those are great too. But I'm talking about the ones that you find value in, like an educational value, like We Are Tottenham TV. They did the 20 years of Enoch. You know what I mean? Or you also have. We've done some shows here, maybe yesterday's stream on the protest, right? Or David's and my David, Bob, and Brian's stream yesterday.
I'm just gonna start calling them out. Maybe teaching them is not the thing. Maybe I just need to call them out.
Well, Marcel, I'm talking about the average Joe. you have a voice, right? People know you. You're a celebrity, so you can go out and call them out. No, you may not think you are, but you are.
I literally just
dude,
look,
come on. If people are talking about Will Stewart, THFCRants at the protest yesterday, Marcelo is a bigger celebrity than I am.
No, look. I'm just gonna say this. I'm a football fan, and I'm just gonna start calling these people out. I don't care about the views. I don't care about the clout. I'm just gonna start calling them out, even if it's like they're a big name, much bigger than me. I don't care. I do not care. Like I try to teach these morons, I try to teach these idiots, but it's like teaching an idiot how to use a calculator. You're just gonna try to turn on the TV with it. These people, like, honestly, they're like, I can't stand some of these people, some of our fan base. It's absolutely spineless, man. You know what I mean? Like I'm done teaching these people. Brian and I, we've been talking about this for years, and if these people have not seen the light after this whole, Super League fiasco, and they don't want change, then they're just Spursy. They're just Spursy. You're like, honestly, they have mindset of a loser. That's a mindset of a loser. And
right, but I mean, you're a public. You may not have your own channel or anything like that, but you're a celebrity regardless if you want to or not. So you can get away with that. You do whatever you want to do because it's different. You have name power. But I'm talking like just the average Joe. Just go out there and start spreading the word, dude. Share videos around. Go into comments and have conversations with people. You see people in the comment, like for instance, if you're watching the We Are Tottenham TV and you see some trolls in there saying stupid stuff, call them out in the comments. Be like, yo, why are you saying that? Let's talk about it. Tell me why you think that, right? Let's try to support the movement. Let's try to do this. That kind of thing is helpful. That's what us as foreign fans can do because we can't be there. But we can protest in the comments. We can go out there. We can be the Harris Army. We can be Will's Rangers, right? We can go out there in the comments into the interwebs and start doing guerrilla warfare, on these channels. Heck, I don't know. It's difficult for me to do it. Maybe I will do it. I don't know. Just throw in a super chat to Chris Collin and ask him, hey, Chris, what are you ENIC in or are you ENIC out? Like hit him with the fire, dude. You know what I mean? Go on to I don't know if Expression reads the super chats out or not, but go on to Expression's channel and hit him with a super chat. Right? You've paid for it. He can't get mad at you. Right? Just start. 안녕하세요. And you can also just get out there and just go out and do stuff. You know what I mean? Maybe I should do it. Maybe I should get on Chris's channel.
The thing is that they just gonna give the sit in the fence. They've gotten.
But then you can expose them for who they are, and then when they start seeing their subscriber count drop,
it won't matter.
10,000.
It won't drop because our fan base don't care, man. Like that's the issue.
You gotta fight anyway, though. You can't give up. You gotta keep coming forward. You gotta keep pushing.
That's what I mean. Just call them out. Just call them out. Just start saying how it is. Just start saying how it is. Like if you support this board, you support this thing. You're anti-Spurs. You're anti-Spurs. You can't have it other ways. You can't support ENIC and what they stand for and then be pro-Spurs. It just doesn't happen. It's like saying
Marcelo. Trying to say that to somebody who isn't in agreement with you is a non-starter. That is not going to do anything to convince them to come into your way of thinking.
I don't care.
Right?
I don't care. I already tried that.
But you have to care.
No. I already tried.
We're talking about a war of numbers.
I'm not here to declare peace anymore. I'm here to declare war.
Well,
I'm done. I'm done.
That's it. I'm saying that's why we need it. We need Marcelo to come in there and cut him up. And we need Cody to come in and clean up the pieces. And then Kieran wants to say something.
Oh, no, I was pointing to you to that's exactly what I was going to say. Yeah.
Marcelo comes in, chops them off the knees, and then Cody comes up like the nurse and says, I'll patch you back together. And then that's how things get done. It's just like when you're dealing with like redneck, like me being from Missouri, I've dealt with a lot of redneck racists, right?
Same.
You got to get in their face first, right? There's no if you don't have a conflict with them, you can't even get. There's no amount of education that can bring them over to your side peacefully. You kind of got to hit them in the nuts and then say, "Now will you listen to me?" Right? And so that's why it takes both. I think that's why it takes both attitudes.
Yeah, some men only respect the sword. You gotta go hard sometimes, but at the same time, yeah, I mean, one of the things I would say
고구마님은 우리
is that-
지금 이넥하고 리비는 만약에 이넥 아웃 하는 사람이 많지 않으면은 우리는 이 시스템이 어떻게 더 크게 키울 수 있는지 이 얘기를 하고 있습니다. She said she's late to the show, so she doesn't know what the topic is. So
Cool. As long as you're here, that's all that matters, right? Like what I'm saying before, like a lot of people are not really going to change their stance, or maybe they don't feel like they can really make an impact until one of like the Cronkies or the Glazers, until they actually resign, and then you're going to get a lot of Spurs fans. It's gonna feel jealous. Let's be honest. Jealous will force them to make that extra impact to actually go to a protest. Because you have a lot of Spurs fans that are probably thinking, listen, man, if Kroenke or Glazers are not going to leave under that amount of pressure from that amount of from that long sustained period of time, what makes me think that me, protesting will actually make a difference? If they're not leaving, then what makes you think that the Levies were going to leave, or the ENIC or Joe Louis will leave? Not ENIC, but Joe Louis,
Listen, this comment here, this is a part of the problem, okay? David, you know I love you. You know I respect you, okay? This is not like a blanket way to approach someone who doesn't understand our position, okay? The reality is most people think of themselves as being pretty smart. So when you attack them in this way that is meant to make them feel, that is meant to invalidate their position, meant to make them feel like they're like, what are you expecting to say? Okay, somebody walks in and they're like, I am very happy with ENIC's performance, and you're just going to yell in their face that they're a fucking idiot, and they're going to say, you know what, you're right, I'm an idiot, I now agree with you. It's not a realistic way of growing the amount of people that are going to get in behind our cause. That's all I'm saying. And Will, I know what you're saying too. There's going to be a spectrum in terms of it. But
there's a spectrum on the other side too, right? You have the noisy ENIC inners.
We cannot operate as a splinter cell, a militant splinter cell, and expect to achieve anything. We need to bring more people into the fold. We need to bring more people. And yeah, it might be, look at Marcelo. I get it. Look at the body language. You're fed up. I get it. But you can't.
What I'm saying is we need both, because on that side as well, there are militant guys. There are trolls in here that are ENIC in, or they come to my channel, they come to David's channel. You need people like me.
Let me ask you this, Will.
Chop up the trolls.
Yeah.
And then Cody can go after the looky-loos on the sideline.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this, Will. Okay, you could have an opinion on anything. Let's say, okay, you think that Big League Chew is the best kind of bubblegum. And I walk up to you and I say, Big League Chew? Well, you're a fucking idiot. Hubba Bubba is the best bubblegum. What is your initial reaction going to be? Right? You're going to dig in your heels. That's what's going to happen.
But Cody, as a retort to that, I agree with you, but take that same situation and have a third person film that and then put it on the internet. There are going to be people who watch that and be like, hey, I like the guy who is like, fuck you, Hubba Bubba's better. And they'll take that side. That's the thing. This is YouTube. So like, there is a place. I agree with Will. There is a place for Marcelo and David's style of doing things. I mean, Will, didn't you say you like watching the debate stuff? Like the panel debates, like on Twitch and stuff? Yeah. So
yes, Kieran,
that's blood
what I'm
sport.
saying is,
People on the internet love blood sport. They
Dippy
love
Dippy,
watching people
Vosh,
go at each other.
MDD, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, exactly. I'm into that stuff too. They love it. So I mean, that's the thing, and I agree with you in terms of talking to a person one-on-one, having a conversation. That's the better way to be. But I think there's a place for that as well in terms of the total it needs to be total war, right? We need to attack ENIC on all fronts with all different manners possible. Every strategy should be open, except for anything that is violent or illegal, because I will not.
I understand.
That on the internet.
I understand. I would be more accepting of this opinion. Like, I understand what you're saying, right? Everyone loves a spectacle, blah blah blah. and I shouldn't have said blah blah blah. I'm not trying to belittle. I do respect what you said, Kieran, for sure. What I'm saying is, given the result of the weekend's protest, right? Just look at the way the protest went. We have to now look at ourselves as an overwhelming minority underdog in this fight against ENIC, in terms of, if you divide Tottenham Hotspur supporters into a pie chart, we are a skinny little fucking slice of this pie. And being the loud yappy dog of that pie chart is not going to bring us forward as a cause. Not if and
Not
there
if
is a
that's all
place
we
for
are.
that. There is a
But
place
if we're
for
more
that.
than that, we
There
can
is
be
a
more
place
than
for that. But what I'm seeing is that it's just a little bit overwhelming in terms of the message that's coming out of
in
the
the realm that you roll in. Yes, right. You roll with me and David and Brian Daigle and We Are Tottenham TV, right? That's Bob Spur. That's kind of your main sphere. I'm sure you have other channels that you watch, but as far as like I see you interacting with on Twitter and stuff like that, it seems to be the main crowd. We tend to be a little bit more boisterous. Like, for instance, I'm a smart fella. One of the reasons that I've reached out to you is because you're the yin to my yang, right? You complete me, right?
He's frozen.
But no, because it makes a good balance, right? It's like Tango and Cash, right? It's
Tom
good
and
cop,
Jerry.
bad cop, Tom and Jerry, right? You got Barney and Fred, right?
You know, I get bonus points because Gogama agrees with me, so bonus points for me.
Power of persuasion, but that's why you're here, Craig. That's why I'm saying. That's why I'm saying you need to be reasonable. You go out there and be reasonable. But I'm saying, don't try to muzzle the hounds, right? Is what I'm trying to say. Right? Don't try to muzzle the hounds, right? You just got to know when to release them, right? Cody needs to be back there holding the leashes, and then when Cody tries to say, hey, and when they don't listen, then you're like, boom, release the hounds, and then it's me, Marcelo, and.
But to a man, everyone that is defending this method of taking on the challenge would not want someone to get in their face.
Oh, I don't care.
And disagree with them. You would not kowtow to someone who got in your face with a disagreement like this. You would fight. You would dig your heels in. You would harden your position.
But I still listen. I don't harden. I listen and fight. That's my mentality, right? Like, for instance, if I'm wrong on a point, like even when we were talking with David about the ESL, and we went. Me and David probably got hotter with each other than we've ever have. And to be honest with you, I listened.
See, the reason why we're in this situation is because we have been too nice. The thing is, Cody, David and I, we have been to other shows where, people are ENIC in, you know what I mean? And, when the people were just Jose out and, blamed everything on Jose, and we're trying to explain that there's bigger problems than Jose and that, the board is a bigger problem, and everybody dismissed us, right? We try being nice guys. We try to listen to their point and try to, do their things. But by listening to their point, we have gone 20 years and have had one trophy and have been fucking declining for the last 8 years. Now I don't care about their opinion. No, I'm sorry. I don't care about their opinion anymore. I'm going to attack you. You know what? I'm going to go at your throat, man. And you know what? You're going to have to defend your opinion with your fucking life. Or else you're going to be made to look like an idiot. And nobody likes
David,
to
and I got to make a call to David. I got to call in an airstrike here from the Special Forces unit to the main army. We got to get more people like Alex on your channel, and get them to come on smaller channels like this too. Because I'll tell you what, you want to convince a load of watchers to come to our side, get someone like Alex, who you can obviously see is absolutely delusional, and have Marcelo and the Irish Hotspur hacking on it. Because even though it's a dumpster fire, you watching it, you can't rationalize a lot of what he says. And same thing, David, I get Chris Cowan on your channel. Try to get Chris to come back on your channel.
I'll attack him.
Time,
All right.
No,
this time,
I'll go
I have
on
a
him.
question.
I'll
I
go
have
with
a
the
question.
straight hard
David.
answer.
I have a question. I have a question for Marcelo. Okay, so how many people have you convinced to turn to from Enoch in to Enoch out by attacking them?
By attacking them. Well, I don't know. I don't know that. You know, I just started this.
I
now.
know.
Well, no. Well, hold on a second. I just started this.
Yeah.
But the
Well,
thing
you
is,
don't know that
no.
for sure.
But
You
you
don't
no,
know how many people could have watched the videos and then seen Marcelo going hard, going all "I'm telling you, bro," and then they're like, "Hey, I agree."
I'm telling you.
Actually,
because after David's
Cody,
video
I changed a lot of
yesterday,
minds.
we gained
Personally, it's
15
another thing.
subscribers.
Actually, Cody, I changed
Sorry.
a lot of minds. Actually, you know, there was a lot of people that used to, you know, rate Ben Davies, but I attacked them and I belligerently like try to, you know, like convince them that Ben Davies is dog shit and Winks is dog shit, and I've changed more minds that way than being like, well, let me listen to your opinion why Ben Davies is good, and then you know I'll just be like, well, that's okay, that's your opinion. No, I'm sorry. This day and age, right, where you just say, well, guys, come on now, like. I like Ben Davies. It's just my opinion, right? And everybody being like, "Oh, it's okay. You know, it's your opinion." No. You know, there is such a thing as a shit take, and there is such a thing as being wrong, and there is a thing as having a shit opinion. You know what I mean?
Okay, let me ask you this then. Let me ask you. When was the last time that you changed your opinion on something because somebody attacked you about it?
Actually, quite a bit. Quite a bit, actually. I used
Jose.
to be Jose for one, and also I used to be a supporter of Winks. Go watch when David and I first started. I said that there's a player in Winks, and David just didn't have none of it.
I've turned him a little bit on Lamella too.
And Lamella, I used to rate Lamella. You know, and you know, David and I, we used to argue about Winks, but then like there came a moment where I'm just like, I just had it with this guy, and I was like, David, you're right. You're right. There's an old tweet where I legitimately said, when this was when Pochettino was around, and I used to be like a big backer of Winks, and I said, you know what, like I'll stick my neck out for Winks, and you know,
People are just different, Cody. Some people, when you hit them hardcore, like for me, you get in my face, I'm gonna get in your face back, but my ears are still open. You know what I mean?
not
If you hit
saying
me with
that
logic.
I'm not saying that the approach that you guys are suggesting is invalidated. I'm saying that it is not a blanket approach, and I think we all agree on that. So
that's why you're here, Cody. That's why Brian Ireland's here.
We're probably wasting our time.
That's why Chai is here.
One thing I want to put forward, though, is, you know, so we've talked a little bit before about hitting Enoch, you know, where it hurts, which is the wallet, you know. So, like, I heard Mr. K talk about sponsors, you know, standing outside of Nike stores and stuff like that. And I think that's good. I think one of the most important things, this mostly for the English fans, is they really have to, when fans get back in the stadium, the conversation needs to be going on seat to seat in the entire place. They need to be turning to everybody around them. They need to be shouting. It's got to be a constant. And they have to communicate this to the season ticket holders, because they're the ones that Enoch really, you know, they're the ones that spend the most money.
I think you need to be going on my shop and buying an Enoch out shirt, going into the ground with a jacket.
Yeah.
Once you get into the ground past the stewards, you take that jacket off, you pull out your banner, and you try to get on TV.
Yep.
Right. Try to be getting on TV with that. Right. 35 pounds, you can get a big 100-inch banner, right, or a 65-inch banner. Smash that like button with those lips. But you got to. I'm serious. Like, you got to try to get on TV. I'm gonna drive to
and
Canada.
Tune in on Wednesday morning.
Go to the matches. Don't try to protest.
See, subliminal messaging.
Don't try to protest. Knock it off! Damn it! I'm talking. Got to get to the games, but sneak in and then protest inside the ground, right? Until the stewards kick you out. I think that does. You can get on TV, right? Because the cameras are going. As soon as they see 15 to 20 people with Enoch out black shirts and banners in the section, camera's going to go whoop right to it, guaranteed. And that's the last thing that Daniel Levy wants, right? That is the last thing that Daniel Levy wants. Absolute last thing. Yes, and 구독해 주십시오. 감사합니다. Smash the like button with those lips. That's for sure.
And Will,
How do
yeah,
you
you
smash it
gotta
with your
use your. Will, you gotta go after the Korean fans. You gotta get yourself on Twitter, man, and start talking to all the Sun fans. Like, not even just like Korean Tottenham fans, but just the Sun people, the people who adore Sun, which is like probably like 3/4.
Yeah,
of the
but I
country.
can't write in Korean very good. I got to do it verbally. So I need to do like an all Korean show. Or what you can do is, Koguma-nim, I know you don't really know Discord very well, but you are now a mod on the Discord. So people don't know we do have a Discord. And do I need to get my hat now? Do I need to get my hat now?
Yes, guys, you know what time it is. It's your boy David
coming
at
to
the
get
Irish
Cody.
Hotspur, Ireland's number one Spurs fan.
Coming after Cody.
Oh.
Can I just say? Can I just say something? Whoever is that Peter Moore guy, congratulations.
Peter, come on the show.
Your 15 seconds of fame just came up. You know, you like to talk trash, mate, but like you just go home, take the L, cry in the corner. Like you're not winning any of this. You're making yourself look like a fool. But I get it. It's all for clout. Thank you for the love. Thank you for the subscribe. Make sure to smash the like button. I
don't
love
know
it.
if he's subscribed, but
Yeah, I just want to say to Peter, thanks for being my number one fan, man. I really do appreciate it. As you can see, I'm the one that wears the crown. Look at my picture. I just want to say to Cody, look, in a way, I can see what you're saying, Cody, right? But like Will was saying, I think there's two ways you can do it. But look, my style, to me personally, I just tell people how it is. I get it. Like, you know, we can all sit there and, you know, pretend to hear out each other's opinions and, you know what I mean? Yeah, you're right, butter each other up. But honestly, it's not going to achieve anything. You may as well just call it out for what it is. You know, we don't win anything. And the reason why we don't win anything is because our fan base accepts it. We accept it.
Peter, come on the stream. Stop hiding in the chat. Come on the stream. Talk to us like a man.
Love you, PP.
Or stop trolling people.
I know.
Like nobody even comes at you, Peter. We all know who you are, Peter. Every time your name pops on the chat, nobody comes at you until you start coming at other people, right? Come on the chat. Come on the stream. Be a man, right? You've been here longer than us. You know, blah blah blah. You know, it's because we're young, you know, newbie fans that we want Enoch out. Yeah, but yeah, Arthur's been a fan longer than you, and he wants Enoch out. So
no, he's sitting there delighted with the participation medal.
Look at him. He's
participated this season.
They picked on you after. They picked on you after you made fun of David's spelling and the thing. Like he cares. Like he just throws his words out there. He's not like he's proofreading his post.
This is another thing. Like, just take the L like a man. You know what I mean? Like, or at least, like, actually say something, like, as a retort. Like, what have we become these days? Like, are we just, like, children? Like, oh, they picked on me, guys. Like, oh, no. You know, like, I said something stupid, and now, like, you know, I'm getting backfired. Like, yeah, that's what you get. That's what you for being a dumbass. Like, how about just trying to be smart for once? You know what I mean? Don't be a dumbass for once. Maybe people will pick on you less. That's what I would say.
I can honestly say, Peter, you can scroll back to the chat, and I that's Cody what I was saying before. That's fine, yeah, Peter. Like, I bigged you up to you for having your opinion and not being scared to share it. But I'm saying what happened in the chat and what caused this to happen is when you started going after David for a silly reason, something that had nothing to do with the arguments that he was making. You just simply started picking at him with ad hominem attacks. And that's what caused the thing to go bad. And you've done it before. I mean, that's why I was getting pissed off in yesterday's stream at the things we were saying. It's not because of what you're saying. If you were just in the chat saying, you know, well, I mean, again, I think English is saying, I don't think they should be out. I don't think the fans are in this. I don't think the fans are for that. That's fine, right? But when you start saying you're an idiot, Will, or you don't know what the fuck you're talking about, right? That's ad hominem attacks. No, that's fine,
that's
Cody.
Exactly the shit I was just arguing.
Right. But what I'm saying is, what I'm saying But then if that response, no, listen, because I'm not finished. If that, no, you got to let me
Is
finish
there a
my
way to
statement,
call
Cody.
people out
Because
politely?
if that's your way that you're going to do it, don't get booty hurt when I come at you the same way. Is what my point is.
No, yeah, no, that's another thing.
You
Will,
can come
like,
at me that way,
yeah,
but when I come at you that way, don't get booty hurt.
yeah, no, that's exactly the same thing. Will, when I say like that's what I'm trying to say, Cody. Like I'm not trying to be these people's friends. I'm not anymore. I'm not trying to be, nice guy. I'm not trying to care about their feelings. Look, this is the club I love. You're attacking it. For me, it's a personal attack. You support Enoch. It's a personal attack.
David wasn't
So I'm gonna
calling
come at
you a loser, Peter. He
Oh, he
wasn't
is.
calling you a loser. Well, I mean, he is now, but he wasn't at the time. He was saying in general, right? He wasn't saying Peter Moore is a loser. I'm sure he thinks that now, or have thought it in the past. But it's what he wasn't saying at the time. You made it personal first. It's in the chat. The evidence is there.
And also,
He's acknowledging here that it was non-specific, right? Like I don't have a beef with this guy. I don't know why you guys are going back and forth with him. It's a difference of opinion. We can still respect each other. Every time that Peter has come into the comments,
personal.
I've engaged with
he
him
went personal.
peacefully. I disagree with him. He disagrees with me. There's value to having people in the
Cody,
conversation.
he made fun of David's spelling because
I saw that.
David's dyslexic.
I saw that.
But the difference is, right? When I go at these people, I'm not gonna go at I'm not gonna go at anyone for like their looks or for their whatever they have problems they have.
I will. You're a hairy Brazilian, Marcelo.
Thank you. I'm not gonna go.
hairy.
I'm not gonna go for any personal attacks. I'm just gonna attack their opinion. That's the difference. I don't attack people
Or
for
hair
who they
lips.
are and what they are, unless they attack me first or my friend David. You know what I mean? If you attack my friend David and you attack me, I'm gonna go at them. But like I'm not, when I go with these people that are Enoch out, I'm gonna attack their opinion. I'm not gonna attack who they are as a person.
Exactly.
There's
attack
a
the
difference.
argument, not the person. I don't attack people. Like I don't attack Alex as a person when I come up there.
Yeah. I don't call when Alex and I go at each other. Do you ever hear me say, "Oh, Alex, you look stupid," or "Alex, you stutter," or whatever, say something
Your
stupid like
teeth
that.
are too white.
Yeah, or your teeth are too white. Oh, or I say, "Oh, you're I never say "Oh, you're a loser, Alex," or something like this. I just say, "No, Alex, I think you're delusional, mate. I think you're wrong." There's a difference.
See, this is hilarious because you guys are completely proving my point because
But we're not.
Peter took offense to a general opinion that David expressed.
That's Peter's fault.
In that he's done being nice, blah, blah, blah. These guys are losers. He generalized. He included Peter in that generalization. Peter went back with vitriol.
Well,
and
no,
now
Cody,
it's devolved
Cody,
into
Peter-
what
Peter
we're talking
included
about
himself in
now.
that generalization.
This is exactly what I was talking about. When you are going to respond to somebody that disagrees with you by calling them a fucking idiot, there's no value in that. And we're seeing it play out right now in this between you and Peter Moore.
There is
No,
because
there's value.
No, that's what I'm
There
saying.
is
Can
value.
we call people
No
out
one
by
called
being
him a
polite?
fucking idiot.
Do we have to
No one
use
called
all
him an
those
idiot. No one called him
words?
anything.
Yeah.
He put himself in that generalization.
Yeah, he called
He
him
put
a
himself in it.
loser.
No one called him
he
anything.
Yeah,
He
called
put himself in
a
it,
loser.
Cody.
Yeah,
This is the problem.
But he's already
And
made
like, the
his.
thing is,
he's
I'll be
already
honest
made
with
his
you. No,
opinion
I'll be honest
clear.
with you, right? I've
He's already
spent
made his
6
opinion
months at
clear in
this now.
previous
And to be honest with you, from my experience, it's just calling it as it is the best policy.
Yeah.
It's the best policy. People respect you for it.
yeah. David's changed my mind a lot. I've changed David's minds a lot, but because we both tell each other how it is.
You guys change my mind all the time when I watch
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, it's just
There's
the
different
amount of
personalities. That's why I think I differ. That's why I'm saying, Cody, you can't try to muzzle the Rottweiler. Otherwise, why own a Rottweiler? You know what I mean? Either get rid of the Rottweiler altogether, but you shouldn't put a muzzle on a Rottweiler if you own one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're there
But
to
at
be
the
a
same
guard dog.
time, we also need to be having friendly, good faith conversations with people.
Sure. And that's what I'm saying. If you want to come on the show, like if Peter were to say, boom, he clicked the link at the top of the thing and come on the show, I would be nice to him. If he came on my show, I'd be nice. I would make sure that people be nice to him. What?
When I was a kid, I used to bike like 15 minutes to go to baseball games, and one of my neighbors had a Rottweiler that used to chase me on my bike all the time, like all the time. The Rottweiler's name was Zeke, and I used to end up like on my bike on one side of the bike, using my bike as a shield so that the Rottweiler couldn't get me. It's just so funny that you used Rottweiler as an example.
I told you I'm a very observative person.
Should have stood your ground, lad.
Some say
man.
prophetic, but no,
You're prescient.
what I'm saying is it's, if you want to come on my show, if you want to come and hit the button and join and talk to me like a man, I've said this to all my trolls. I will treat you with respect. I'll be nice to you. I make sure everybody else, we can have a real discussion like men, back and forth. But if you're going to sit in the comments and start slating people, calling them slurs and doing other things, right? I wouldn't let David do that either. Even David being David, if he was in there saying for no reason, just picking people out of the comments, be like, you're a fucking bastard, you're a fucking dumbass. First of all, he wouldn't do that. Second of all, if he did do that, I'd be like, David, chill.
Well, you'll say it to their face.
Yeah.
Cajones, you know. Like that's.
But when you come at David, when you start making it personal, I'm not going to say anything because you've opened the door. You've opened Pandora's box, and now I'm letting go of the leash on the Rottweilers.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, that's when you let go on the leash on the Rottweilers. That's why, like, I don't. Cody, you like I love your position and your side of things, and I appreciate it. It's different style from, like, I wouldn't say I'm probably in between you and David or you and Marcelo. I can go David and I can go Marcelo when I have to or when I want to, but I can also be calm and cool, relaxed and composed.
It's funny because, like,
but to be honest with you, though, I would actually argue that my style. I'd actually argue that my style has just worked because he didn't come back with any football opinion whatsoever. He just pulled out a grammar mistake. Like, look, you know what I mean? I never claimed to be. I never thought I was a spelling bee in the YouTube comment section. So when they don't come back with a football opinion, you already know you have them. They can't back
100%.
up their argument.
100%.
Yeah,
I don't disagree.
It's funny because
I win. I win.
All
Peter.
the people in my social web, I am like the most in your face. I am right, you are wrong. Like, blunt, tell you how it is, brutally honest person that you can be. And don't give me like the Canadian bullshit. But
you're being.
It's so funny.
You're being very soft.
I'm kind of playing devil's advocate, right?
Don't play devil's advocate if you don't mean it, right? Because my wife comes downstairs with wearing a new pair of pants and say, how do I look in these pants? I'm like, you look fat. That's what I say.
Okay.
I don't like it. I don't cut corners with anyone. My son comes off the pitch and he's played bad. He's like, Dad, how did I do today? I was like, you were poor. You're walking home today.
Yeah.
You're jogging by your car.
It is, lad. That's all it is. You know, one
I
time
I don't mix words.
I'll share a little bit of a personal story. One time I was trying to get to the varsity team in my wrestling team, and I lost to like this guy. He was shit too. I used to beat him every time in practice, but when it came to the varsity tryouts, I lost him, and I fucking went home. I went home crying. I think I was like what, 14, 15 or something. I went home crying. My dad was like, "What are you crying for?" I was like, "I lost," and he's like, "Okay, so you just give up? Like that's what losers do." You know what I mean? You lost today, but you can be a winner tomorrow. You know what I mean? Like, it is what it is. Take it on the chin. Keep moving. Like, don't, like, why you gotta, you know, like, you were shit, but, like, you can always get better. You know, like
I'm a weird dad, dude. Like, my 11-year-old son or my other son will be like, hey, you need to shave your mustache. Or, like, my son's going, you know, just starting to go through puberty. He doesn't have hair under his arms or on his legs yet. And not a whole lot in other places apparently, and so I was like, "You got hair on your balls yet? You got hair on your balls yet? Right, when are you gonna get hair on your balls?" I do it in a joking manner, but I'm very blunt. Like I don't.
Hey, I'm blunt too, but I ain't never calling my wife fat. I don't care what you say. I want to live, man. I want to fucking live. I want to live. I want to stay married. I want to be happy. I ain't never call my wife fat. I don't care. She comes down and says, "How do I look?" Honey, you look great. That's just.
But you know what? You know what? Now, but no, I'm telling you. At first, it causes a lot of problems. But now, right? When if I say you look good, she feels 10 times better than when I say it all the time.
Hey, look, I listen. I am firmly in the camp that if you need to fart on the first date, you better fart because there's no point in holding them in, man. You're gonna eventually fart in front of your girl, so she better understand.
I'd probably hold it in on the first date.
Biomechanics take precedent. You know what I mean? By the way,
I think all humans realize that you're gonna have gas. I think that's something, but it's still.
Tonight's show is so much better than last night's, by the way.
We've been married almost 15 years, and then my wife rips one in front of me. I'm like, what are you doing? Oh, she's dirty.
But guys, seriously, okay?
Yes.
What do you think? I mean, if you want to call someone out, right? Is there a polite way of doing it? Not like offending them with every word you come out with your mouth.
No, I'm not trying to offend them.
But the way you speak.
What I'm just trying to say is, I'm just gonna attack their take. I'm gonna say like, well, okay, you're saying ENIC is good, but like you got to tell me how they're good. And then if they present the point, I'm like, well, this is where you're wrong.
If you go on the aggressive like that, right? All these who are on the other side of the fence won't come and talk to you. Won't want to hear your side.
Yeah, but the Peter will go talk to Cody now. Cody's been Cody's been good cop. We play good cop, bad cop. I told you, Tango and Cash.
Can't believe it all comes down to like. I can't believe it. Nobody in my real life will believe that I'm a good cop. To be honest, try and explain it. There's no fucking way they will ever believe
we should approach it in a nicer manner, and when they don't listen, we let the dog.
To be honest with you, I actually think we're just all overthinking this. To be honest with you, it's YouTube. You know, no matter what way you approach it, people are going to put their opinions in there. It doesn't matter what way you approach it.
Yeah. And in my opinion is also like nobody likes to be made a fool. And you know, you go on YouTube and you make a fool out of someone. You know, other people are going to be like, "Oh shit, that guy looks like an idiot." I'm not going to be like that guy. You know what I mean? I'm going to think like that guy. He sounds smart. He's right. You know, so sometimes making someone look like a fool, will change minds. Like I know a lot of people change their minds after watching
easier when you make yourself like a fool, like me, and then people think it's just funny, and then they subscribe to you anyway.
Yeah, fair enough. But like I know, like my debate with Alex, and God bless Alex Stoll, but I've roasted him in a lot of the debates. And a lot of people just go like, "Yo, I don't want to be like that guy."
Dude, you roasted him today, or like, well, technically yesterday.
That was probably one of the. I was gonna say that was probably one of the harshest moments that I've seen Marcelo run ever.
Well, he's like
David was shocked. David's jaw went like.
I was loving it.
He said,
dude, you weren't expecting that to come out that hot right out the bat.
Keep Ben Davies, keep Bergwijn, a guy who's competing, by the way, with a goalkeeper on goals, right? Like he said, keep these guys, but sell Harry Kane. And then what do you expect me to say? Like honestly, like what do you expect me to say after that?
Yeah.
Like really, like seriously, like that's Spursy, man. That is Spursy to the next level.
Alejandro's brilliant.
That's shit. That's a shit
brilliant
take.
Touchdown.
That is a shit take. I'm sorry, Alex.
But can you see how he's coming up with that point? Can you see why he's thinking like that? Can you understand why he's thinking like that?
He's mentally broken. I already said it. He's accepted failure. He's just accepted at this point.
Well, that's
he's
the thing is,
dude. Some people are just
why he's coming up with those points. You got to understand why he's thinking like that. And
because I'm telling you, he has PTSD, bro. This club has failed him so many times, and this board, they're gotten so used to this board just being non-existent and not doing anything. Like, did you hear his reasoning? Well, we gotta sell players, so we're not gonna buy any players, so none of these players are gonna leave. And I'm like, wait, hold on a second. You just said basically the board doesn't have to do anything. Like you're just accusing just shit.
I just want to say something. Anyone that's saying that like mine and Marcelo's approach doesn't work, I have he said tonight that he thinks Winks should go. So it does actually change people's mind, and he was one of the Winks' biggest backer.
Yeah, he was.
Also, on Jose Mourinho, he was sitting there tonight saying, "Maybe I got it wrong."
Yeah, I now convinced him. Ben
Davies just to be 100% clear, I am not saying that your approach does not work. I'm saying that it is not a brush to paint everybody with. It's not an approach
And
that's
that's
gonna
why we
work
have
with-
you, Cody.
Exactly.
But
Right.
that's why we have different channels.
We're a spectrum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's just
Yeah,
how I
e-
am.
yeah,
Cody.
even
but
like when we are Tottenham TV, like Sim is the more reserved,
Calm.
data-driven
He's the yang.
one, and then Ben is
is
like
the yin.
all fire and piss and vinegar, you know. So
Oh, Ben Davies testimonial. Oh, stop it.
Jesus.
You guys should be thanking me for that.
Ben Davies, we have called you for your testimonial. 10 years of greatness. The award
You
to
guys, you guys should actually be thanking me for that. You really should be. I'll go down in history.
Oh, jeez.
Like no, but honestly, like lads, let's stop beating around the bush, right? This fan base complains about not winning trophies, right? But then Dele Alli has a game against a team that comes from Timbuktu out of fuck nowhere, and then people are saying
link at the
Dele
top
Alli's
of the
back.
channel.
We gotta keep Dele Alli. We gotta support Dele Alli, right? They say they want to win an FA Cup and be like Leicester, but then they also say at the same time like Ben Davies is a good squad player. You know what I mean? Like they
Well,
say
I
these
think
things, but they don't mean enough. Like just
You
not
hit the
realistic.
nail on the
lad.
head earlier. You hit the nail on the head earlier, Marcelo. It's social media. I mean, these people. If you look at the club, who are the personalities that the club is always pushing? Obviously Son and Kane because they're global superstars, incredible players. But also, how many times does the club's Instagram post pictures of Winks
Moon boots.
or Deli or
yeah.
Moon Boots or
Oh.
the English lads, the guys who are like David
Welsh
says,
Mafia.
yeah, they're
Welsh
proper
Mafia.
Tottenham,
What
they
fucking
love
mafia
the
would that
club.
be? That's got to be the worst mafia I've
They're
ever seen in
Levy
my life.
boys. They're Levy boys, and Levy puts his boys on the poster for everybody to see. And when you are scrolling through Spurs social
More like
media
Boy Scouts
and you're
than
seeing
mafia.
pictures of these
Welsh Boy
players,
Scouts.
and you go on Twitter and you see people like there's a Twitter account, there's some guy who calls himself Dire Propaganda who's always talking about moon boots and literally is in every comment thread where he's ever criticized defending him. I mean, and you have people like this who are obsessed with the stan culture. And
Look at
all of that
that
stuff, whether it's
Yes.
conscious or subconscious, does change people's opinion. It does change people's opinion of the players. They see them with rose-colored glasses.
That's him. That's him watching the ball bounce for the 50th time.
I
Look at his
What
face.
I fully agree with what the other guys just said. I
Yeah,
really do.
I
Sorry,
agree.
what's your name, my man?
Tyrion.
Kieran McDonald, I actually DM'd
Oh,
you.
yes, Kieran. Big up. I actually agree with what you have to
I
say,
agree.
but that's where I step in and I expose them for the frauds they are.
Yeah. You have to. You have to. Because, if you get away... No, I'm sorry. I agree with David here. Because you get away with saying that, Davies is good and, Winks is this and that, and, you keep backing this shit cause and this shit board, and then there's no consequences. What is to say that you're not going to just back, every shit take? You know what I mean? If there's no you gotta understand, opinions have consequences, lads. You don't think my opinions don't have any consequences? I just called out Ndombele. Ndombele has a bunch of stands, right? I get messages every day. Remember when I said Jose out? You don't think Jose out? Guys didn't go after me, bro. I had a guy telling me to go suck a dick and die because I said Jose out. That's how it is, lad. I just told them
I haven't gotten heat for my comments.
Yeah, you get heat
come
all the
on now.
time. People get heat for their.
I can't even put a shirt on my website for people to buy if they want something that says ENICOUT on it without getting hate and vitriol.
You have to learn to enjoy the hate. You have to learn to
I
enjoy it.
I love it. I love it. You know what I said to that guy that told me to eat a dick and die? I said, "Thank you for watching my content. Please like and subscribe on the next Frenemy show." That's what I told him, and then I blocked him. It was you know what I mean? I love that shit. You know what I mean? People wanted to debate me. I love that. Hate me, please. I love it. Let's talk.
Cody
I
has
probably like the hate more than I love the
personality
positive comments.
Yeah, try to expose me. I want to see them try.
Cody, have you taken a Myers-Briggs test?
Probably not.
You should. We can know. I would say that Marcelo, David, and I are probably close to. Why I know I'm an ENTP.
What's this?
It's a personality test. It's called the Myers-Briggs personality test.
I've
I'm a
taken
I
it.
lace that, lad. I lace it.
Yeah, there's no ace in it. It's you simply just it tells you what kind of personality you are. So I'm an
But you answer
ENTP,
about
which is the
100
debater.
questions.
If you want to get in an argument, that like I can argue all night long. Like
Oh,
literally,
yeah, I'm
sometimes
definitely in
after I
that,
get
yeah.
off, if I get off the stream at 12:30, 1 o'clock, I usually go onto another stream and I'm up to like 5 a.m. It's retarded, like they're ridiculous. Sorry, I can't.
You know,
I'm
it's
old.
crazy. Dire propaganda is actually. You know that guy that Twitter account.
Yeah.
I can't believe that there's accounts like that. Like honestly, I saw like a
for
Swiftie.
for Winks, for
Yeah,
Davis,
I
for
saw Swiftie.
all of them.
Yeah,
It's
I saw-
crazy.
I saw a Swiftie, some guy called like Swiftie Sanchez, and I'm like, what the like?
Yes,
What
there's
the
a
fuck
bunch of
is this?
Sanchez ones. There's a bunch of Sanchez accounts. Oh my god, it's crazy.
Like, do you just
There's
enjoy
people-
shit? Like,
It's weird because like it's you understand with Son and Kane and Bale.
Yeah.
But these
they're
guys
people
are
you can
just
look
like
up to.
yeah, these guys are just like even being generous, like average, mediocre Premier League players. Like, why are there so many people who are obsessed with them? And I'm telling you, social media does this. It creates these parasocial relationships where people, they see images of these people all the time, and then they begin to admire them in weird ways. And that plays into people's footballing opinions too.
Honestly,
There you go.
I think being a stan is just weird in general.
See?
In my opinion, you know what I mean? Like,
Will's been arguing facts since he was 4.
yeah, like I think being a stan is a little bit weird in general because it's just like I'm Tottenham in. You know what I mean? I know my pictures are Socrates pictures, but I'm not really a Socrates stan. I just love like the history of Socrates because
You want to hear a funny story?
he was a guy that fought for my freedom, but like I mean not my freedom, but for us to vote in Brazil. But like, you know what I mean? Like with stans, like what the fuck are those lads? Like seriously, like
It's
Swifty
bizarre.
I wanna hear a funny
Winksy?
story. There was
Like,
one
what is
time-
that, bro?
There was one time when my mom and I were like going to a tryout where I think it was a tennis team, and the tryout was the meeting location was like the north door of the school, and we literally argued for like 45 minutes about which door at the school was the north door. And like she was telling me I was wrong. I ended up being right in the end because I'm always right. But we literally argued for 45 minutes over what door was north. That's why I just love arguing about stupid crap all the time.
It's actually
silly.
funny, Will, because like I'm only one letter off. You're ENTP, right?
Mhm.
I'm ENFP, so I'm pretty similar to that. The campaigner is what they call mine.
Yeah.
So-
Campaigner. I'm the debater. That's what I do. Yeah. And like 2020, you guys remember that show back in the day? 2020?
Yeah.
That was my favorite. I was like 10 and I used to watch 2020. So I would argue with people about facts that I had seen on 2020, like 10 years old. All right. Peter Moore has joined the show. As soon as his equipment connects, I'll give him the opportunity to turn off his camera if he would like to not show his face, which is fine. Just hit the stop camera part there at the bottom if you'd like. And it was actually 2020, but I did watch 60 Minutes as well. It was 2020. Do you want to argue about that right now? I'll win.
That was John Stossel, right? Wasn't Stossel the host of that?
Later on at the end of it, yeah.
Oh, at the end of it. Okay. Well, that's probably when I would have been watching it because I remember watching it when it's like 7 or 8. So
I love 2020. Here we go. Peter, welcome to the show.
Welcome,
Hello,
Peter.
Will.
Hello, how are
Can
you
you
doing
hear me?
today?
Yeah, can you hear me properly?
Yes, we can hear you properly.
I think you misunderstand a lot of my comments.
Sure. That's why I like it when people come on because then we can actually talk it through,
I
and then we
wouldn't
usually
watch
come
you
to an
guys-
understanding.
Yeah, I wouldn't watch you guys if I hated you guys. I wouldn't waste my time.
No,
But the thing about
I don't necessarily hate you either, so that's good.
Yeah, the thing about the ENIC in and the ENIC out, yeah, that's the big thing, yeah?
Yep.
My personal opinion is way before all these protests, wait till the end of the season, wait till the next transfer window. If you're not happy then, protest all you want. I'd rather finish above Arsenal, I'd rather finish in the Europa League, or as high as we can with the crap team that we got. All the protesting and trying to stop football matches, although they never done it because that protest on the FA Cup final day didn't interfere with our match at all. But to do it like a Man United way, a Chelsea way, or an Arsenal way, would really need to be next season.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree that. I just disagree that waiting is the answer. I don't necessarily disagree with your points. I don't necessarily disagree with your points in saying that to do those things and give it another chance to win a chance.
Yeah, because personally, I hear a lot of discussions. Yeah, I even heard yourself say maybe about 2 years ago you were not that unhappy with Tottenham. But
2 years ago, I was what?
You wasn't that unhappy at that time 2 years ago.
Right.
It was probably coming to the time then that it started to get your back up. Probably about 2 years ago.
Yep.
You started thinking, look, this ain't going the right way.
Right. Yeah. It was after the first transfer window when we didn't do anything. So it would have been right after we left White Hart Lane.
Yeah. So the way I see it is, this ain't just football. This is a lot of things. There's a lot of discussions going on globally at the moment, whether it's football, whether it's anything you can pick here, and you can't take COVID out of the equation. It doesn't work. Every time you take COVID out of the equation, you're not going to get the answers you're looking for. Could Mourinho have been a good manager? You would never know, because COVID was there. You know, I mean, I love Pochettino. I didn't want him sacked. Even if we finished one place above relegation in the year we got sacked, I would have wanted to keep him. He earned that.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
But all you can work with is what did happen. So once he was sacked, he was sacked. There's no time machine to go backwards.
True.
So then
but my thing is, I hear you. You gotta let me respond a little bit.
Yeah, of course.
My thing is though now is that I agree with you and everything that you just said. I don't think that you said anything that was out of place or wrong. But just because COVID happened, or just because, doesn't mean that I have to settle for it, right?
No, you don't. You can run things wrongly. You can't use
other clubs have spent through COVID.
Can I just come in there?
Other clubs have spent through COVID. Villa spent us more than us through COVID. Leeds spent more than us through COVID.
Peter, the problems. Peter, you were saying about the squad there. The problems with the squad was happening before COVID. It was declining before COVID.
Yeah,
you look at the squad.
I've watched you as well, yeah, and even some of you have different opinions from yourself. 90% of the time, you make perfect sense. But the one critical thing that we keep, it's like a circle thing going round and round and round. We can't do if much and maybes. We can only deal with the facts.
Yeah, but I am dealing with the facts.
Yeah, but
the squad was declining.
Yeah, but I'll be totally honest with you, yeah? When we made the Champions League final, I thought it was a blessing in disguise that we didn't sign anyone for the short term. A blessing in disguise because if you remember Newcastle years and years and years ago, when they were challenging for the league under Kevin Keegan, yeah? They had probably on the left-hand side. He was playing out of his skin. The team were playing out of their skin. They could have been champions, yeah? They could have won the league. And they brought in a Spurs, who's a brilliant player, yeah? But he off-balanced the team. So even though they added this brilliant, world-class player that you turn up and want to watch, the balance of the team went. And they didn't win the title. So
you have to take the whole season.
I understand, but you could
take the Champions League. Yeah? Just take the Champions League final out of the equation, right? That squad
Pochettino overachieved with it. You look at Sissoko and Meeks in the middle.
Massively
Oh, yeah.
overachieved.
You know what I mean? The thing is, the
Massively
problem with the squad
overachieved.
was there. If we didn't make the Champions League final that year, Peter, everybody would have been onto this a lot sooner. The Champions League final covered up a lot of the problems.
Exactly.
Pochettino
But
covered up a lot of
the
the
point I'm
problems.
trying to make is, in anything in life, if you go back to try and change something, it doesn't necessarily going to happen.
That's why we're not
for
trying
you.
to change anything that
If
happened in
we-
the past.
if
We're
we-
trying
we're
to
just
change the
trying-
future.
Yeah.
But you have to
Well, yeah,
learn.
but
You have to
we could
learn
go
from the
back there.
past.
We could go back there. We could go back there and put 2-3 good players in that squad. Yeah, don't get to the Champions League final. Personally, I was at the UEFA Cup final in the mid-80s.
Or we could have won the final.
Yeah.
Or we could have
No,
won the
but-
final.
Dave,
We could have been like
as a
Liverpool. No, hold
teenager-
on a second. Hold on a second. I got a point here to make, Peter, because you're talking about we can't look in the past, and there's no point in looking in the past. There's
No, I'm trying to make
absolutely,
a- no, I'm
there's
trying
not,
to
no,
make
there's
yeah, but I'm trying to make a
absolutely a point in
comparison.
looking in the past because the thing is that's been going on with Spurs is this been this endless cycle that goes on and on and on and on under ENIC, is where we start picking up some momentum, ENIC gets complacent, and then they just drop off, and then we go back to being shit, and then we go for some years for being shit, and then we pick up some momentum again, they get complacent, and then they drop off. Like, we gotta now learn from this and change as a fan base and stop repeating the same cycle over and over again.
I have
Like-
a
Yeah,
question
and the
for
thing
Peter.
is,
I have a question for
football
Peter.
is short term. Football
I just wanna-
is very short terms of playing.
What I would
So
like
you
to
have
say-
to
what I would
rectify
like
it.
to say- No, what I would like to say is though, I support Tottenham, yeah, we all support Tottenham. I don't care about Arsenal, Man United, Chelsea, I don't care about them. Tottenham is the individual club that I support. Now, that ESL thing has happened, yeah, where it's sort of joined for a brief moment, them clubs together because they're the clubs that entered it, yeah? But briefly, the problems that Arsenal have been having, the protest and the getting Kroenke, that's been going on for over a decade. So we
Yeah, but they win
shouldn't be-
trophies.
but what I'm trying to say, forget the trophies. What I'm trying to say is,
No, I'm
even
not going
the
to forget the
protest-
trophies. That's
No,
the
no,
whole
no,
reason
no,
why
no,
I'm.
but-
What do you mean, forget the
but I'm
trophies?
talking-
We all want the
No,
trophies.
because I'm talking. No, but listen, if you listen to me, I'm talking about a different subject, which is off the field. I'm not talking about on the field at the moment. I'm talking about a different subject. When you look at Arsenal supporters, they do all them protests, and then we have a protest, and there's a few hundred there, and then people getting embarrassed, saying, "Oh, look how many Tottenham, oh, they're taking." Listen, we've only that protest has only been really starting from all this ESL stuff, yeah. The Arsenal thing, it took them 12 years to get rid of Wenger. Yeah, so how can you be embarrassed and say, yeah, we're not matching what Arsenal's been doing? They've been doing it for over a decade. We've been doing it
Yeah,
for a
but
few
Peter-
weeks. So,
but Peter-
as long as he
Peter,
gets in-
hold on a second.
No, but
Peter,
as long as he
Peter,
gets in-
one second.
Wenger,
Peter,
Wenger,
one second.
Wenger. Hold on
Peter,
a
one
second.
second.
No. Peter,
Peter, I just want to say one thing.
You cannot compare.
You came
no.
up. No, Peter, you were coming on talking about a Champions League final and praising it up, right?
Yeah,
And now,
because I was trying to
and now you're saying, you don't care about trophies. The
No,
thing
no,
is,
no, no.
Arsenal
No,
are protesting, and the reason why they have momentum
Yeah, but you've
is
got
because
to
they know what
understand
victory
when
and lifting
someone's talking,
trophies
Dave.
feels like.
Dave,
They know.
no, but
Yeah, they
seriously,
know.
You've got to understand that when you're having a conversation with someone, like, fair enough, I'm being a bit boisterous because you guys are used to that. This is the first time I've ever phoned up one of these things before, yeah? And I've been in the chat, you guys are used to being on there. When I'm talking about 1 point, I'm not deviating from it. If I'm talking about off the pitch, when I say forget about trophies, I mean within the conversation I'm having. Then you can come back to trophies. Now, I mentioned the Champions League. The only reason why I mentioned that is
But the thing is-
teenager. No, but listen, see, I've not finished again. When I was a teenager, I was just winning the UEFA Cup against Anderlecht, yeah? And imagine how amazing that was, yeah? And I've got to be totally honest with you, the Man City and the Ajax, over them 4 games, that matches it. We never won a trophy. I've experienced both, yeah? And it matches it. It's a higher level competition, and you've got to admit, yeah, you'd be far-fetched to find a lead up to a cup final. The cup final was disappointing. Liverpool was disappointing. Yeah, we weren't the only team that went out there and didn't play. It was a crap final. But the point I'm trying to make is that build up to that final, you wouldn't find a better one in the history of Champions League. You wouldn't.
Yeah, but we lost.
Listen, with
So what?
Liverpool-
Do we measure that as
Lost.
success
No,
then?
no,
The build
no,
up to
no.
the Champions League final
No,
and success.
That's not success.
I'll give you something, Ed. If you don't agree with me on this, right?
It was a great run.
then I
Don't get
will
me
forget
wrong. I
about
love
the
the
whole-
journey.
But listen. But then I will forget about the whole thing, yeah, because I'll be banging my head against a brick wall. When teams qualify for the Champions League, there's a tournament, yeah. They can either progress. Now, progress means you're going forward in that tournament. You haven't been knocked out. You're competing with the best teams in the world. Yeah, you're in a stronger tournament. You might get to the quarterfinals. Yeah, and get knocked out. Now, a team could get knocked out in the earlier rounds. Yeah, and win the Europa Cup. Now, I don't accept that team that's gone and won that Europa Cup is any more successful than a team that stayed in the original tournament, the higher tournament, and went further.
But they are. They lift the trophy. They have a medal. They have a medal around their neck.
they have a medal.
Listen to yourself, though. By the way of failure, they've won a lesser trophy.
That's like
Look, famous quote from Roy Keane: "No one ever remembers
not
second
success.
place.
Yeah,
No one ever remembers
but
losers."
you have to understand what Peter's trying to say.
All right,
It's
I
like
remember
if you're-
second place.
if
Yeah,
you're-
I
if you're-
understand. Cody,
I
hang on.
No,
Cody,
we
Cody.
understand. No, Cody, we
I fully
understand.
understand what he's trying to say.
Well, the
right?
thing
But
is,
you cannot measure losing a final and having a winner's medal around your neck. You can't measure it.
You can't
I fully
measure it.
understand what he's trying to say. Don't say I'm not. I don't. I
Listen,
do. He's making his
No,
point,
no,
and I'm
no,
arguing
hold on
the
a
point.
second. No,
When
but Peter,
you
you've been
say
talking. No,
both
no,
of
actually,
them
no.
come,
It's
yeah,
Peter,
both, yeah.
Peter. It's time for
When
you to
you say
listen.
both
No,
come-
Peter. It's time for you to listen for a little bit, okay? Because we're listening for quite a bit. You compared Arsene Wenger, right, with Arsenal. Arsene Wenger, by the way, he won about, what was it, like 17 major trophies? If you consider the Charity Shield a major trophy, he's won 17 major trophies. And you're saying, oh, it took Arsenal so long to get him out. Well, that's because he was getting consistent top four in trophies. Any manager that does that in the club is going to stay. You know what I mean? You also saying like, oh, reaching the Champions League final, it's more success than winning the Europa League. Sure, in a sense it is, but like also you rather be a winner. You rather be a trophy winner. Oh, and he left. Okay, so
Ask yourself this, right? Who's going to remember more? The guy sitting at home with the winner's medal, or Harry Kane sitting there thinking I lost the Champions League final?
But
Who's more
what my point is, David, is that we went from being that Champions League finalist to getting into the Europa League and not even being able to beat fucking, Dynamo Zagreb. You know what I mean?
Also, another thing to add to this is like, even if you do measure getting to the Champions League final as success, even if that's what you consider success, the original point is ENIC in versus ENIC out. ENIC's not to thank for that. They're not responsible for that. Unless you consider them responsible by exactly hiring Mauricio Pochettino. And I'm sorry, no, I'm not going to give credit because they hired a guy. No, he did that. Mauricio Pochettino took a squad and shot it so far beyond its potential, it's ridiculous. He was a transformative manager. And the relationship between him and the fans is what made that cup run happen. It wouldn't have happened.
Karen,
we barely limped out of that quarterfinal with City into Ajax, and then it was literally the last kick of the game that sent us into the final. Magical. But that's the point. It was magical. It wouldn't have happened if it weren't for Mauricio Pochettino being who he was. Had nothing to do with ENIC. They deserve no credit at all, and especially considering they didn't do anything to double down, and they didn't back the manager after he did that, after he did something that was incredible, and then sacked him a few months later.
So Karen, you want to know how much financially that season ENIC contributed?
Yeah.
Zero.
Yeah.
They contributed zero. Fuck all to that Champions League.
And
final.
I want to try to steel man Peter's position, and then hopefully, Peter, if you're still there, your signal's messed up. You can try to get back on. We'll get you back on. I think what Peter's trying to say, and I think that this is the disconnect for Peter, not necessarily for us. And I think that David and Marcelo would agree. I think there was so much joy under the Pochettino era, and I think that maybe as I was going to the bathroom and having a quick vape, the thing that kind of hit me was because there was so much joy during that period, but now that there's not, there's still some people who are, and Peter's here, so he can tell me if I'm misrepresenting his opinion, but because I agree with you, Peter, that during that time, right, that build up to the Champions League final was some of the best moments in the last 5 years of supporting this club that I've ever had. Right, that was some of the biggest joy moments. The semifinal win at Ajax, the second leg against City, all of those nights were great nights. But the problem is that we can't continue to hold on to that feeling. We have to call a spade right now, right? What is Daniel Levy doing now? What has he done for the last 2 years since that final? And because Pochettino's gone now, and that was Daniel Levy's choice. Jose Mourinho's gone now, and that was Daniel Levy's choice. All of those things now are the state we're in now is 100% Daniel Levy's responsibility.
Yeah.
And we're holding him accountable for his choices, and that's it. And I don't
Well,
think that's unfair.
right? I hate to sound a bit harsh here, but when you're comparing losing a final to winning that and lifting that trophy, I'm sorry, it's part of the problem. And that's it is part of the problem. And that's also representative of ENICOUT
No, but
and ENICOUT.
can you hear me now? Am I back in the
The ENICOUT people
Yeah, we hear you, Peter.
realise what lifting the trophy means. And the ENICOUT people are the ones that are comparing the Champions League final to lifting the trophy.
No, but you got to understand, David, you got to understand, yeah, I'm just a football supporter, yeah? You guys are like YouTube channelists. You do more research and, into boards and, yeah, but I mean, even the ones of you that do the list would do more than me. I'm just a football supporter, yeah? I don't really care what goes on behind the scenes. As long as, the guy ain't a wrong one and he's doing, things out there that you don't appreciate, that everybody I don't appreciate. You don't want one in the club. You don't want Gary Glitter in your club. You know what I mean? But the point I'm trying to make is a billionaire is a billionaire. Yeah. Now there's a difference between a lot of billionaires and normal people. Right? That's the reason why they become billionaires. No billionaire's going to come in now. Now you tell me, apart from that Leicester owner, yeah, right? They're the only people that I can think of that will take a club into the big six, what they call it. I don't agree with all of that, but they call it the big six, yeah. They would have been invited into that ESL. The other five would have said yes. That guy would have said no. You couldn't name anybody else. The West Ham, they would have won it.
But it's not just the ESL. It's how they run the. It's not just the ESL. It's just like everything they do. Everything ENIC has done has just been to make Spurs their cash cow, and this is when you should care what goes on behind the scenes, because what's going on behind the scenes is killing our club. It's killing that club that you used to know. When you said that, you used to watch Tottenham win those cups. If you don't start caring about what's going on behind the scenes, those memories are just going to be memories, because you're not going to see that in the future, because this board is really bleeding us dry. It is milking us. Every decision they have made since they took over Tottenham has been a money decision. Peter, meanwhile, other clubs, other rich clubs like Man City, Liverpool, they actually made moves to try to attempt to win trophies.
Have you seen
Let Carrion jump in here.
Let Carrion. No, hold on. Carrion had a point.
I just have one addition to that. And I heard Alex make the same argument on the Irish Hotspur earlier. This idea that be careful what you wish for. If you get Levy and ENIC out, somebody worse might come in, blah, blah, blah. It's such a ridiculous argument. That's like saying the president or prime minister of your country is doing things that are hurting the country, that are hurting its citizens.
Yeah, but
we can't vote him out. We can't remove him because the next guy might be worse. That's crazy. That's crazy.
No, you never listened to what I actually said. That's why you're answering the way you answered. You never heard what I said. I was only pinning that to the ESL thing. No, I was only pinning that. No, listen. I was only pinning that to the ESL thing. I wasn't pinning that to us going on now and getting a new person in. I was only pinning that to the ESL thing. That ESL thing to me is gone. Yeah. So I was only pinning
but it's not gone.
It's going to come back. It's gonna come back. Trust me.
But let me
They're
tell
gonna
you,
do it again.
question.
but let
Peter,
me
let me
tell
ask
you-
you a question.
Doing it until they get what
Hold
they
on.
want.
Go
Peter,
on,
let me ask you a question. Do you remember the last days of Sugar?
Yeah, and I remember Venables being there.
Right. So how did you
I
feel
remember
about
the- you know,
Sugar at the end of his period, out of his reign? Did you want him to stay or did you want him to go?
Well, what I didn't like about Sugar is we had Ardiles as manager at the time, didn't we not?
Yeah.
I don't know if it was the last, but Ardiles was definitely a manager under Sugar. And this is where sometimes, he's a great business person, yeah? But this is where sometimes you can take that business seriously into a club. He would take, when the football team would away matches and all that, and you would put bottles of water and bits and pieces on the coach to go to the away matches, even strip them off that. Now, when you start doing things like that, we want to save a couple of million on the transfer or a couple 100,000 on the transfer. Taking someone's Volvic water for them, you know, I don't think he was very supportive of like Ardiles, and Ardiles is a legend there. So, I mean, that's my feelings on Sugar. But everybody loves Terry Venables. I love Terry Venables, but you know, he was a bit of a weird dealer, and he was probably a little bit like Venables. Even though he made
You love him because he
Sugar
delivered
look a bit of
trophies.
a bad guy.
Yeah.
Because everybody
Yes,
loves
he cared
Venables.
about the
I
club.
love Venables, even till
He
today.
cared about the club. That's why you love him.
That's what we're saying is I think that Daniel Levy is
So you
worse
woke
than
up
Sugar.
there.
Would you agree that Daniel Levy's done worse for the club than Sugar?
I think Daniel Levy is worse than Sugar.
Yeah.
I mean, Sugar's
Daniel
still got a
Levy-
little bit of stake in it as well, a tiny bit, isn't he?
Daniel Levy is the worst thing to happen in this club, Milan. He's the worst thing to happen in this club. He really is. We might as well have been
I'm
liquidated.
trying to
It's
flesh
very hard
out.
for me to-
Yeah. Good night, Cody.
It's hard for me to compare the two of them.
Take care, Cody.
Cody's got to go. Thank you for joining. Make sure to check out his show on Wednesday and also the Bald and Beard Tottenham Boys show on Tuesday. So
On that note as well, lads, I'm going to bow off as well. I'm going to go to sleep. But I just want to say before I go, actually, much respect to you, Peter, for coming on
100%.
and you know, talking about it, put your point out there. And I respect you for that, my man.
I think he's having
No,
some
we're all
connection
Tottenham
issues.
fans, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But see, and that's why I have this show, Peter, and that's why it's in this format for post and
I think-
pre-match, so that
I think
people
the
can.
connection. I think the connection. ain't
Yeah,
right.
but
You can
if-
talk to-
yeah,
talk
if
to
you-
the other guys, Will.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying. I'm talking to the other guys. You can, if you can't hear me, then
Oh,
you
that's
might
good. I can
want
hear
to.
you. I can hear you. Now.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so what I was saying, Peter, is the reason why I have this show and in the format that it is for exactly this purpose, right? If people disagree and they want to have a debate or talk or even chat things out, it's far better as Tottenham supporters for us to come on here and talk together, voice to voice, because in the text it's hard to read a person's actual intention or their love for the club, right? You
Yeah,
can't
but
see a person's
yeah.
heart in the text, but you can hear it here. So
No, but-
I appreciate
yeah.
you coming on.
Yeah, the point I'm making, Will, is I just think before, like, because I don't think this connection's that good.
We can hear you.
Everything at the moment, yeah. Oh, can you hear me now, Will?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
We can hear you.
Yeah, sorry, mate. I just think this COVID thing, I mean, I know I keep bringing it up, but listen, if that COVID had happened, we could have judged Mourinho properly. I'm not a Mourinho fan, but I would have gave him a chance. We could have seen what came in. We would have been at a different position now. We could have been at exactly the same position, but you would have had a lot more people behind you because the COVID weren't there. But there is no way of judging the last year and a half. There's just no way of doing it. You expected all that money to come in. You've built that stadium. You've got naming rights to come. You've got, you know, Tottenham are growing bigger and bigger by the day. Now, you can imagine all that money coming in. Yeah, now, if I was a businessman, and because they are businessmen, and I was there, I wouldn't be thinking to myself, yeah, I want to go out and pay £80 million for a player. I want to start upping the wages to like 300 grand. I'm going to do that. Because of COVID.
Yeah, but that's not. But that's not our. That's not my beef with Levy right now, though.
No, I know your beef goes more long standing than that. Yeah. But I really think, get to the next transfer window. You are going to know by the next transfer window what club and what direction we really are going in. There's got to be no excuses. Like,
Okay, so let me ask you a question, Peter. Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question real quick.
Go on, Will.
If we go through the summer and Levy buys no one and sells no one, will you join our cause?
To be honest with you, I would, yeah. But this is why, it was my fault all the way along. It's that this COVID thing got in the way of everything. You can't judge nothing on this COVID. This last year and a half, because we've done well to be where we are.
What about the other? What about the other 19 years that he's been here? You can't judge any of that.
Well, yeah, the thing is, Marcelo, yeah, it's like I followed the club for a long time, yeah. We were 25
I don't care.
years
Hold on a
out
second.
of
You say
no, but no,
Marcelo, just let him finish.
No, it does mean something. No, it does mean something, Marcelo. Yeah, no, I'm not betting you because I followed it a long time. I'm just explaining to you that you can't tell me that a club that wasn't even finishing up into positions to finish in the lowest European spot share has not turned around somewhat to be finishing in Europe every single year, whether it's the Champions League or Europa League. We've been doing it for years. We went 25 years without doing it. Now, you can't tell me that ain't a change. We all want to see us win a cup, yeah? But that's
small
an
change.
improvement. You
A
can't
small,
say that.
small improvement.
It's a good improvement. I'm going to give look. I'll be honest to give Levy credit for that, right?
I don't. I think that was more Pochettino.
I'll give him
than
credit
Levy.
for that. I don't disagree with you.
Yeah,
Redknapp
I would
and
give it to
Pochettino.
Pochettino as
Yeah.
well. I would give it to
They didn't-
Pochettino as
they
well.
didn't-
But listen,
They didn't give Pochettino the tools to get Champions League. Pochettino made his own tools.
exactly, and that's why that's the
So
difference between someone
so
who
he-
can come in and coach a team or a manager that just manages a team.
So
He's
Enoch
the
don't
right to
deserve any
coach a team.
kudos. You know what
Yeah.
Enoch had? Enoch had
but
every
the thing
piece in
is-
the puzzle. No, hold on a second. Enoch had every piece of the puzzle in. They had one of the best prospect managers. They had one of the best directors of football in Paul Mitchell, and they still figured out how to fuck that one up. All right. So I don't give
Yeah, but-
Enoch any
yeah,
credit.
but-
They've had 20 years.
Listen.
They had the chance to get it right, and they fucked up.
Mhm. Not to
But
mention
Peter,
a generational
that
talent in
guy,
Harry Kane coming through the academy.
Yeah,
which
they had
don't
a
deserve any
unicorn.
credit
I'm
for that
willing-
either.
Absolute unicorn.
Peter, I am willing. I am so confident in how horrible the owner that Daniel Levy is that I am willing to wait until the end of the summer after he signs no one worth value and sells no one.
Yeah.
Because I'm
Yeah,
so
and I'm
confident
thinking,
that will happen. Yeah. So yeah, I look forward to you coming on the show this time in September and being like, eat it out. I look forward to it.
Listen, I would do it.
Guys, we
But
don't
the
even
thing
have a
is,
manager yet.
if you've gone through
I
that
look
much pain, yeah, it's like with all the bands around the world with the COVID. If you've gone through that much pain and you're nearly at the end of something, it's worth just being a little bit more patient just to see. And that's going to clarify every single thing. I mean,
A little bit more
like I say, you
patient.
get to the transfer
Been waiting for
window,
30 years.
If you get to the transfer window,
He's not telling us that he has to be
If you
patient
get to the transfer,
or we have to be patient more so. He's saying that there are other
No,
people who
well,
are going to be
I'm-
patient.
and all of us, look, there's things in the world where it's just worth waiting a little bit more time for, and you'll get so many more people on board as well. You would do.
I think we will, and that's why. And that's why. Yeah. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Peter.
Yeah, sorry, mate. Go on, you were speaking, Will.
No, I was just going to say, and that that's, I'm not going to change my method, but I am willing to be patient for people like you to see the light as clearly as we have seen it, right? So, like for instance, if I like 100% respect you.
The thing is,
Yeah.
the
I
thing is,
100% respect you.
season,
We keep pausing on each other. I
I
think there's a
don't know
little bit
if
of a
it's my
delay, but
reception
yeah.
again, Will.
No, yeah, but I'll just say my
But
point
I
real
mean,
quick, and I'll let you talk. Yeah.
Oh, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Listen, you want to be together with your Spurs fans. They're split apart. If you look at the other team down the road, yeah, all they've been doing is fighting and this and that in the ground for years. They've been doing it. That's not enjoyment. That's not enjoyment. Wait a little bit of time. I'm being funny. If a Spurs fan looks at the next window and we're left with the same team, if you can't go out and grab ENIC supporters, yeah, you're very bad at what you do. Because they would be the easy. It'd be like finding apples under an apple tree.
No, I agree with you, and that's why every time.
So it'd be
that's why I'm willing.
Yeah,
that's why I'm willing to accept people like you who are willing to come on here and actually talk like a man, because you're the first one, to be honest.
I disagree with everything, though.
Yeah, I mean, you can disagree with him, Marcelo. But yeah.
We've been the same team for 6 years. They have changed.
It's not right now, Marcelo. It's not about the disappear. He doesn't disagree on the details. All Peter's point is, and I'm trying to steel man your position, Peter, is just give it a little bit more time. Give it 3 more months, and then he'll join the cause. But that's all I say. Because of the COVID situation.
Especially Marcelo. Marcelo's a confident guy, yeah. Right? Yeah. I watch Marcelo. He's a confident guy, yeah. Right? And he knows what he's talking about. And he's not risking anything by doing what I'm saying to do, because he knows in his heart of hearts that he'll get to the transfer window and won't be happy. So it's not going to change anything. It's just you're going to have so many more people behind you doing it at the right time. It's this year, finish off Arsenal, finishing the Europa spot.
But the thing is,
it's what now, 2-3 games, whatever. Yeah? Just do that. And then after that, look at the transfer window. If the same thing runs out on the pitch next season, yeah, I'll be there with you. I'll be saying the same thing.
But the thing is, Peter, where it starts to worry me is that I hear this every time from ENIC fans. It's like, well, they have made some great improvements as a club. Look at us. We finished. No, hold on. No. Hold on. I'm just hold on. Let me finish.
He's talking in general now, Peter. He's not talking to you.
Let me talk. Let me finish my point. Where people try to big up ENIC by saying, oh, look at us. We reached some European spot. We finished above Arsenal. Honestly, if that's your cap of what success is, I'm sorry. You need to get better standards, because this used to be a big club.
No.
And if your standards, I'm sorry, hold on. If the standards is that low where you consider that success, where in 20 years we've been able to make Champions League 5 times, I'm sorry, and 1 trophy. I'm sorry, that for me is not good enough for this football club. A football club that used to be record holders of the FA Cup, a football club that used to win trophies, a football club that used to win at least 2 to 3 to 4 trophies each decade. For me, for a club owner to take that and only win 1 League Cup and get 5, Champions League spot and finish above Arsenal a couple times, that's not good enough. We need to win trophies.
Yeah, but to be fair, Marcelo, to be fair to me, we've only got 2 or 3 games left of the season. We ain't in any cups. That's why I made the comment I just made. We can't win any cups this season. That's why I made the comment I made. If we was in cups, I wouldn't be talking about just finishing above Arsenal and the Europa place. I'd be talking about winning cups. We're not in any cups.
Yeah, but we're not winning cups under ENIC, are we?
No, but I was only talking about the remainder of this season up until we get to that transfer window, and then we have to win between now and then.
We can't win cups
every single game they play.
Yeah.
No, but hold on. I want to wrap this up because we're beating a dead horse.
Cup final.
Hold on.
We're in the cup final, though.
Yeah, Peter was. I had never seen Peter coming out the way he did until after the final, to be fair and honest. So, look, to kind of wrap this, because we're kind of beating a dead horse, unless other people, there's new comments and new things we want to. But Peter's point is. Yeah, just to steel man Peter's point is he's saying he's not pro ENIC. He's just saying that he thinks that the COVID thing is a reasonable thing in order to give Daniel Levy a little bit more time to show his true colors. That's his only position. And I respect that position. I disagree with it personally, but I respect that you have that position. Marcelo's hey, there's already enough history.
Yeah. I'm not even giving that you more time. What I'm saying is, between ENIC, between Daniel, I don't care who does it, they could get in the cleaner to do it, yeah? When the transfer window comes, and you look at that team, and that team ain't changed, that's showing no ambition at all. I've given the leeway of the 1.5 years for the COVID. I've done that for them. Yeah, I've done that. So it's only fair. I mean, fans are only just trickling back into the stadium now. So you've got to give it a slight chance. They've made no money through any of that. Yeah. But they've got money to go into the transfer window. They should be able to clear a good few of them players there, even into the lower leagues, yeah? Right? Some of them players, they ain't good enough to be Premier League players, some of them, yeah? But you should be able to clear them out and bring some players in. You should be able to do that. Now, if you're watching that same team next year, then you're going to get job. They might start off 3 or 4 games. Oh, they look good. But Kane's looking sharp and Son's looking sharp, and the rest of them get a little bit of buzz off of them. And then come about 8, 9, 10 games in, they just look as rubbish as they do now.
And also, I gotta address this guy. I gotta address this guy in the comment that's telling me Marcelo should just become a City fan. Like,
who's
just
that?
because Coy's no, don't do anything. I can I'll just say it myself. Like, what an absolute clown. Like, you're telling me to support another club because I want Tottenham to be winners and trophies. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Like, as soon as like people like this is where I'm gonna just start going at them, because you're telling me to go support another club because I'm saying that I want to win trophies and I want my board to actually act like a board and care about my club. Like, how dare me, want better for my club? Wow, I should support another club because I want best for us. Like, what an absolute clown of a statement. Like, truly, you are Spursy through and through. This is exactly the Spursy mentality I'm talking about. This is the problem with their club.
Yeah, but we don't need to be telling people it's obvious Marcelo's not going to go support somebody else. It's obvious. So making comments like that is doesn't help the situation. I thought we were having a good conversation here with Peter.
Marcelo.
Yeah.
Sorry, mate. What I wanted to go back to, because I understand, I agree with a lot what Marcelo says, but the only reason why I was mentioning this about Arsenal and all of that, is because if you think back to the first 20 odd years, that before we started beating Arsenal and finishing above them, we went once finishing above Arsenal in 20 years. So we've had 20 years of that.
But didn't you just say that you don't care about Arsenal?
I mean, I'm 50.
But didn't you just say you don't care about Arsenal or Chelsea?
No. See, the thing is, you're not listening to what I'm saying, Marcel. I'm talking about the protest. I said, I don't measure Tottenham's protest against Arsenal's protest.
Oh, okay, my bad.
But you said to me, you're not worried about finishing above Arsenal. You want to win cups, yeah? But the point I was trying to make to you is, when you've watched them finish above you, 19 times out of 20 years, and sometimes it was like 20, 30 points above us.
Listen, lad.
And we're above them. As crap as we are, it's been 1,000 times worse, mate.
Yeah, but the thing is,
1,000 times worse.
But the
and
thing
when you live
is,
in North London and you're putting up with it, it's
no.
That's what you got to think, Marcelo.
But you can't think like that, lad, because it's like, the reason why we're only let's be real here. The only reason we're finishing above Arsenal is because they've dropped. It's not because we did anything like sure, yeah, we had a great time under Pochettino, right? But it's mostly because their board is just as shit as we are, and they dropped their standards and they're declining as a football club, which is great. I love, and don't get me wrong, I love to see it. But don't go saying that
Marcelo, and we got better to bridge the gap. The two things happened. They dropped and we got better. But it's like you say, we haven't got to them heights, like you say, to win trophies. And that's the next thing. You need to start winning trophies.
But the thing is...
But you do still want all of those... all of those other things do count as well, Marcelo. You still got to add it up. I mean, if you go... I don't know. We haven't won away at Arsenal for God knows how long.
But the thing is, it's Peter, right?
For us, I would celebrate that because I don't want to keep going there and not winning.
But the thing is, Peter, what I'm trying to say is finishing above Arsenal and Chelsea won't do it to stop us from being a banter club, because, we can banter Arsenal, but at the end of the day, you know what they're going to say? Where's your trophies? And their worst ever squad won more trophies than our best, Premier League squad ever. Like, let's be really here.
I'm being funny.
No. But you know, deep down inside,
when it comes to FA Cups, they've won recently. FA Cups, they can win up FA Cups here. But I could kill any Arsenal supporting Arsenal.
Nah, you can't tell me you don't care. You can't tell me it didn't break your heart.
Listen, I'll show you how very quickly. Yeah. Domestically, Arsenal are far superior at winning trophies than Tottenham are. So domestically, Arsenal are a bigger club and a better club than us domestically.
Yeah.
But in Europe, which is a bigger place with bigger teams in it, we've won more trophies than them. So in Europe, we're a bigger and better club than them. That's what I would say to them. Whether they agree with me or not, I don't care.
But the thing is,
we're better than Europe. So why not stick on the things that we're good at? I won't get involved in them arguments.
No, I understand. I understand you want to be positive.
You know,
I understand you want to be positive, but like just saying, I understand you want to be positive, and you know, like trust me, I tried that approach, but just saying, well, guys, you know, it's been a shit season, but at least we finish above Arsenal. Like it's not a good mentality to have. Like we should be wanting to win a trophy, and you know, like I like at the end of the day, I kind of agree with you. I don't give a fuck. And at the end of the day, I kind of agree with you, Peter. Like a lot of times, I don't give a fuck what like Chelsea and Arsenal are doing. I want to have moments with Spurs where we actually get to see our players lift some cups, and you know, maybe to like, you know, have moments where, you know, instead of me and you arguing, we're, you know, giving each other's hugs and, you know, kisses and saying, you know, how much we love this club and how great this team was, and you know how great the journey of winning this trophy was. I want to have those moments. I don't want to have moments like this with you where we're arguing.
I'm not gonna, listen. I'm not going to have an Arsenal fan tell me that 5 years ago they won a title, or 13 years ago they won a title, when
they can say that
in the season that we're in. No,
but they can say that.
But I live in the prison. Yeah, but
jury's still out on that.
Prison, and the prison is.
Yeah, but they're way more delusional than us, though. That's the problem.
We've been further than them in 2 out of the 3 trophies this season, and we're above them in the league. Now, I don't care what they've done last season or the season before. It's all about the now, and the now we are better than them. It's just as simple as that.
But that's still not good enough. Like, just okay, we're better than Arsenal. I agree. I agree with that, but that's still not good enough. Like, we should be striving more than just being better than Arsenal. Like that for me.
No, that's why the next step. I do agree with you. The next step is to get trophies, but where I've heard
and be a top club.
It's really wound me up. Is people compare winning a Carabao Cup. Tottenham supporters winning the Carabao Cup, if we'd have won it, to perhaps getting us to the Champions League final. So we won a trophy.
Not me.
I'm
not one of those. Yeah.
No.
Form of cup,
I would rather get top
the
4.
Form of cup to the biggest form of cup. It's like
I disagree with that.
Final. They're saying that winning the Carabao Cup would make the win, a better manager than Poch, just for that cup. With all the Poch ain't won nothing, but with all that what Poch done, he was superior to Pochettino because he won a Carabao Cup. That's just that winds people up. I mean, you can't look at people saying that and not get wound up about it.
Yeah, but Peter, I've never. Hold on, let me jump in here for a second. I've never said that. I'm actually we had a big debate. It was me and Cody who went up against Stelios and Sam and a couple other YouTubers. We had a big discussion of cups over top 4. And to be honest with you, I would rather get top 4 than win the Carabao Cup. FA Cup, I think it's about even. The Carabao Cup, though, for me, I think I call it the energy drink cup. Like I don't give it any credence. I look at it about as a little bit better than the Audi Cup. To be completely honest with you, and that pisses some people off. But for me, because if you're in the top 4, you have the opportunity
to win
the Champions League, right?
Yeah.
If you're not in the top 4, you don't even have the opportunity to win the Champions League, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. I think Europa League was be big. I think the FA Cup is probably a better cup.
You've got to think as well. If you get to final, that's over 2 years. You qualify for it the year before. And then you play
I think it's a compliment.
And also,
think it's a trophy.
And also, the quality of teams you have to beat to reach a Champions League final is far superior than the quality of teams you have to be in the Carabao Cup. No, we agree with you on that. Yeah. But what we're trying to say is, we reached the final, but for me, that's not real success.
It's not enough to say, Levy, good job.
Yeah, it's not. Right. It's not. It doesn't take away from 20 years of just being completely non-complacent.
And 2 years of horridness.
Yeah. And I understand about the whole COVID thing, but here's the thing, Peter. you know, every other club has been through COVID, and yet they spent more than us. Leeds spent more than
I
us.
understand that.
Villa spent more than us.
Yeah, I
These are
understand that.
smaller clubs with less
I
resources
think
who spent more than us.
To be honest with you, yeah. But the point I'm making, I think it was the biggest kick was to Tottenham than any other club after building that stadium. They went and borrowed that money for that stadium. No one could see COVID. Yeah, and for this to come along. Now, can you imagine, like, if you'd have done that? Imagine you built a big house for yourself. Yeah. You've mortgaged yourself up to the hilt, yeah? As soon as they put the last slate on the roof and you've got your doormat outside the door, yeah, COVID comes along. And imagine you're in a different type of work, but imagine the type of work that you was in that was taken away from you then. All of a sudden, you're living in a nightmare. It's like...
Yeah, I get that.
That's what these other guys ain't built that stadium that we built.
But that's when you still do your job.
Well, also, you're correct, but at the same time, this comes back to ENIC because the loans for that stadium were taken out not by ENIC, but by Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. Like everything else, it is completely self-funded by what it makes. Tottenham, they get no investment from ENIC. And this is the thing. Okay, I understand. That's your philosophy. That's their philosophy. That's their business philosophy. And yes, on the business side, it has worked so far. That's okay. I agree with that. But when you have a situation like COVID, when that comes along, it would be the responsible thing to do as a business to inject emergency funds into your businesses to ensure that they continue to operate as efficiently as possible, as best they can through that emergency situation. ENIC did not do that.
Yep,
They have never once put a penny into the club since buying it.
Hold on, Eugene. Hold on, Eugene.
Hold on, Eugene.
Kieran is 100% correct because I own a company that has investors in it, and during that period, they did emergency lines of credit, right, at an interest rate that the company has to pay back eventually, in order to keep the business from going under, and actually to help it continue, and actually continue to keep it growing during that time. Because to be honest with you, when there are tragedies like this is when rich people make even more money because as prices drop, if you invest capital, you can pick things up for far cheaper than you could before. They could have gone out in that transfer market and bought in players that would have cost twice as much a month ago. Now, if you would invest a little bit of capital, but the problem is, and that's, to be honest with you, Daniel Levy, that's why this transfer window was so like that, is Daniel Levy did that. He just kind of did it half-assed.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. It's crazy, right?
Because we could have gone.
Like, look, he got 6 or 7 players. It's like, yes, he went and spent in the shittiest market because he got the best prices. And even in that situation, he still didn't buy any world-class players. It's fucking insane.
He could have gone Ruben Diaz for 40 million. You know how much Ruben Diaz really costs? He probably costs 80 million. He could have gone Skriniar for 35 million or like 40 million. 35
now
million.
He's 90 million pound center back.
Yeah. It's like he even fucked
up.
I'm not
sticking up for any of that. I'm not sticking up for any of that.
But we have to be aware.
But you've got to work the argument the other way around as well. And I'm not sticking up for them because I don't understand all of what they do.
Another loan of another 175 million pounds.
You've got to work the argument the other way around. When you've got 7 or 8, 9 players, which we have had in the past year, and you're looking at that team and you're saying, yeah, Dele Alli looks brilliant, Kane looks brilliant, Son looks brilliant, even Alderweireld looks brilliant, Hugo Lloris looks brilliant, and you're going through all these players and they all look brilliant at the time, yeah? They must have done something for that team to evolve. I know they got lucky with Poch. I'm not saying that they never, but they employed Poch. So,
I'm not 100% sure on that.
They must have done something, right? I mean,
but Peter, to be honest with you, did you watch the documentary? Did you watch the documentary?
A while ago, what the one on the channel, the Amazon thing, the series.
Yeah.
I think it was sensational. I watched the film at the Tottenham and all that.
Not sensational one, but not the sensational one, but the all or nothing. Yeah, the one for the Tottenham Stadium. So
it's
my thing is that I think that Daniel Levy I think Daniel Levy, being an owner, operator, and maybe it's true that he's been a childhood fan of the club. I think he takes things way too personally, and I think he has a hard time making hard decisions when it comes to the players, not the managers. He has no problem sacking people at halftime.
Yeah, yeah.
But with players, because like letting,
because
like for instance,
why Alan Sugar was a fan of the club as well, though, wasn't he? He owned it.
Yeah.
It's like, you know.
And that's why I think that Abramovich. That's why I think Abramovich does a far better job over at Chelsea, is because he has no emotional attachment to it at all.
Yeah.
He doesn't
He's like
care.
Lampard.
So it's
He
business
has
to him.
emotional attachment to winning. That's what he cares about. He wants his club to win.
Yeah, he's a winner. Winning mentality.
Yeah, the thing about Roman, if you look at Tottenham, the area, then you looked at Chelsea, the area, and you're a multi-billionaire, you could say, I went to Tottenham Stadium. You could say, oh, it's this and that. If you drove past Tottenham Stadium when he did, and you drove past Chelsea Stadium, they're two completely different areas. One is sort of up and well, Tottenham's one of the lost places that will become up and coming. Yeah, you know, it's millionaires market around there. It's like that's where you would be if you were a billionaire. So I mean, if I was him and I looked at Tottenham and looked at Chelsea, I wouldn't even look at what's on the pitch. I know where I would be. I would be at Chelsea, because if you've got money, that's where you're going to be.
Yeah, but the thing is, but you also keep saying money, but there's, but you keep saying about money, but there's other examples of clubs that are well run by not spending that much money. Like you look at, for example, this season, Leicester. They didn't. No, hold on a second. Let me just explain it. Let me just finish my point. You keep saying, well, Chelsea, they do it because they have more money. But if you look at Leicester, they took a loss against Harry Maguire, right? They saw an opportunity to sell Harry Maguire for a lot of money. They took that loss and they reinvested that money very smartly. They took a couple losses with Chilwell, but no. But let me finish, and then they did it smartly. You saw Liverpool. They took a loss with Coutinho, but then they invested very smartly.
Go on.
And the thing is, we're trying to say with Levy is he doesn't. But like the thing with Levy is he is not willing to make those decisions. He gets overly attached. But then when he does make that decision, where like he sold Bale, right? Instead of reinvesting that money actually properly, he actually bought shit players. He got the 7 bums. We used to call them like the 7 bums, except for Eriksson. He was pretty good. But, he doesn't know how to make tight footballing decisions. Whenever it came to a time where he's had to make a proper 50-50 football decision, he has gotten it wrong every single time at every single level.
He's just terrible on the transfer market.
Was a totally different point than what you've just answered. What I was trying to say to you, Marcelo, was the area that Tottenham Football Ground is in, not the money to do with Tottenham Football Club, it's quite a bad area. It's not a rich area where people live. Yeah. It's quite a bad area. It's a rough area. Tottenham supporters do not live near the Tottenham Football Ground. They don't live there. Tottenham supporters get a train from quite far away to go and watch Tottenham. They do not live in Tottenham. Chelsea's a completely different thing. Chelsea is a rich area, like Knightsbridge and places like that, with big stores like Harrods and all of that. Chelsea's a rich place. So if you're a billionaire, and see, Romans if he was one of them people to buy a club and then go for a yacht like our owner, he wouldn't care whatever that club was in, but he's a hands-on sort of one. He goes to the games. Now, you're not going to be a billionaire and hang around in Tottenham, watching Tottenham, when you could be in Chelsea. It's like being in, I don't know what you would do, how you would describe it in America. It's like one place being in the Bronx and the other one being in Beverly Hills, I suppose.
Well, I mean, that's not
LA.
Well, that's not exactly true, because Liverpool isn't exactly the nicest place. Yet they have billionaire owners. It doesn't really matter. No, but hold on. The location doesn't matter because Abramovich.
Those owners are in the U.S. though, Marcelo.
Yeah, our owners are in the U.S. Yeah, so
Liverpool's owners are in the U.S.
Yeah. No, but the thing is, Abramovich is in Russia. You know what I mean? Like for him, it doesn't matter where Chelsea is.
No, but
he wanted to buy us.
He said the Chelsea games.
But no, but the thing is,
no, but the thing is, Barcelona, he would have drove through Tottenham, had a look at the place, and thought, "No, I'm not stopping here."
Mate, he wanted to buy Tottenham. Mate, he
hold
wanted
on,
to buy
hold
Tottenham.
on, hold on.
That's
Tottenham
the
is
story.
the number
that
one.
he
Hold
drove
on,
through.
hold on.
You know,
Tottenham is the number one heroin capital in London. They are ranked like first in home burglaries, like fifth in car theft. Like it is a tough part of London. It is not a good part. It's not a place you would walk around at 1 a.m. by yourself, right?
It's not
like that's
no. I mean, if I was a rich person, I wouldn't be there. A working class person would be there because you're working class. But if you're a rich person, it's not where you want to spend your time. And he spends his time watching Chelsea. He goes to the games.
But what I'm saying is, I understand all of that, but what I think, Peter, I don't really think that we're too far off. And honestly, I think that we're probably aligned.
We're not at all.
Yeah, I think we're aligned on a lot of the same positions. It's just I think that maybe we're a little bit further down the ENICOUT road than you. I think you're on that road. I think you're just right now you're leaving the parking lot, whereas we're already on the interstate, right? And
I already booked my plane tickets.
Yeah.
I already flew. I'm out.
yeah.
I'm not even in the country.
Give up the transfer window. After the transfer window, you'll definitely be on.
But with that, I gotta go, lads.
Yep. And actually, we're actually going to end the stream. So everybody, we're actually going to end the stream because we normally go for 3 hours, but because Peter came on and had to talk, yeah. So Peter, thank you for coming on. Yep, we're going to give you your last word.
And see, all that stuff in the chat, you've got to look at that as that's just a laugh. I wasn't particularly nasty with anyone. No one was particularly nasty with me.
No,
so
you weren't.
That's the way I look at it.
No, you were fine.
But
I'm saying
when you write things in the chat, and you get maybe something back in the chat or something, it's not proper. You can't talk, so you can take things wrongly.
Yeah,
like I can make a little comment in the chat, and that'd be more stinging than me saying it on here. Because
sure, 100%, and that's why we want you to come on the show.
In there and, you know,
all right, night, lads. I gotta go.
Before. That's why I didn't even know how to get on. So.
Yeah, but you're welcome on anytime, man. Anytime we're having one of these late night rant shows, and you want to come on, you're more than welcome to come on. In fact, I would really appreciate having somebody on like yourself has a different opinion. Actually, makes the show better.
I'll be more calmer because you've got to get used to this type of stuff.
Sure.
But
to be honest with you,
I think you did great. I think
you did great, Peter. You're great, Peter. And to be honest with you, this has happened.
The thing that goes in my favour, I can't see what's going on in the chat either. I've not got it on here. I'm just seeing you for so.
People have been nice. Some people agreeing with you. Some people are agreeing with you.
I think that might be a good thing for some of the panelists. Block out what's going on in the chat and say, no, you have to, otherwise you wouldn't have got me on here. But, you know, half the stuff, I mean, I've said rubbish in the chat as well, you know what I mean? I have, but I would only take it to a certain point. I'm not about any hurting people.
Peter, I actually like, to be honest with you now, but see, the fact that you came on the show, even if you were to say the same level of stuff that you had said in the past, I'm not going to be upset by it. Why? Because you came on the show, you were willing to talk it out, and I understand your position, right? I know where you're coming from, right? I know your voice, and so because I know your voice,
it's like the David thing. It's like the David thing, and I hope that someone translates this to David. Yeah, I never knew he had any problems with spelling. Yeah. So when he put that comment up, and he was sort of basically calling people that didn't agree with those views are all losers. So that's me included. Yeah, because everybody doesn't agree with what was being said on that side is a loser.
Yeah.
So because he made spelling and that, I thought, well, that's quite insulting what he's just said. And I didn't believe mine to be as insulting because I wasn't taking that from a standpoint that I knew that he had any sort of spelling or reading difficulties or anything like that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I would never have done that. I would never have said learn to learned to spell before you buy an educator, I wouldn't have said that's the comment that I made, and I would not make that comment if I heard or thought he had any of those difficulties.
Yeah, no, and that's
You
but
get
see
what I
that's
mean?
how
It's just like
that's how we
off the cuff
yeah no I
comment.
agree 100% with you, and I appreciate you for saying that because that means a lot. And I saw that you wrote that in the chat earlier too. Big ups on you
Good
for
man.
that.
Good
Yeah,
man. Yeah.
but I mean, that's the thing. That's why I've made this platform because really, this is the only show that allows people to all come on at once. It's like even though there are other shows that let people come on one at a time and do their thing, it's different when you're having a discussion against a big group of people. Yeah. And so that's why I think that this show is.
The funny thing is, when I was replying to that, and I was writing that down and saying that to him, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
In the back of my mind, I was thinking, I'm hoping I'm spelling this right. I'm going to have a go at it spelling, and then I'm not going to spell it right. I'm looking at the thing that I've put out on the thing, and I'm thinking, I haven't misspelled it. So,
and Cody,
you know,
if you're watching the last half of this show back, if I wouldn't have been, if I, Peter, David and Marcel wouldn't have gone after Peter in the chat, he probably would have never come on the show. True or false?
and the thing is, though, you've got to give the Cody that my back because you was away for a while. You was away for a while. So when you came in, you probably had a lot of existing things going on in the thing, and you was thinking, what's going on there? What's going on there? But I'm speaking. Cody had messaged me about 3 or 4 times previous to all of that going on, and that's why I was saying, ask Cody what me and him were conversing about, because I wasn't putting anyone down. I was talking to Cody. Me and Cody were agreeing with each other, or if there was something he didn't agree with, he said, "I understand what you're saying." It was all reasonable, yeah. And then that comment came up, and then I made that comment, and then it went how it went. But it wasn't. Yeah. You know, nothing, because you walk back into it, you're probably thinking, what's going on there? It's like...
Yeah, well, I actually watch it. So whenever I go, I watch it. I hit play on my phone, so I'm watching. So it's about 15 seconds behind the actual stream that we're seeing now. But yeah, I watch whenever... If I'm gone, I don't... Trust me, I'm always watching Cody.
Yeah, and if I would have saw that comment... If I would have saw that comment... If I would have saw that comment I made about David, not knowing... how much I knew and what I didn't know. I would have stuck up with David if I was his friend. I would have thought like that in a nice comment. And do you get what I mean? But Cody was explaining it to you that, not that other stuff was put out there, and Cody was sticking up for me. He was
and that's why we got Cody on board. That's why Cody's on the team.
Yeah,
we got Cody on the team.
It wasn't so much he was taking my side, but he was recognising that, that I wasn't all that bad, and other people were as guilty or more guilty of a little to and fro.
But this is the thing.
And it took
I like
that.
when people are guilty, because then, like, for instance, this has happened several times, Peter. This isn't the first time that someone who's had an issue with me in comments has come onto the channel. This is the first time that somebody who on this topic has come in and talked to us. But like Victor HM, like, I don't like Eric Lamela. I think that he should be out of the club. I think he has a peg leg like a pirate, and he's one-footed like a pirate, and he needs to go. But there are people who had a hard time with that, like Victor HM, and who else was? I think it might have even been Celery Agent. Where are you at, Celery Agent? They disagreed with me, and they actually came on the show. No, it was Dietrich Kane. I don't think he's in the chat tonight, but it was VHM and Dietrich Kane. They both didn't like me. Like, every time I'd show up in a chat, they'd be like, "Oh, damn, shut this guy up," right? Like, that would be their attitude. They came on the show, and they're actually 2 of my favorite guests now. So that's what I think the great thing about the show
Lamela, the stats don't lie when you look at, Bauer scored more goals even this season than what he's done in his 8 years or something like that.
Yeah.
But you can't help but I look at Lamela and I always think he's going to put it away, because there's a player, he is a good player. It's not happened with his injury, or whether it's him, or whether it's this, or whether it's different managers, or whether it's different times coming on and off and this and that. I mean, when they played against Arsenal, I wasn't that upset that he got sent off, because I thought he was the only one that came on the pitch and gave it all like a derby. He shouldn't have got sent off, but he must be looking around at the rest of the team as if to say, "What have you been doing for the rest of the game?" That's how
No, I don't disagree with that aspect of it, but I still was pissed off It's just like Eric
I
Lamela
was
to
still
score
pissed off,
Rabona and
yeah.
then get sent off. Right? So,
Yeah,
but
yeah, definitely,
anyways-
definitely. But I think that had as much to do with the rest of the team as it. Sorry, Will, go on, mate. Do what you're doing. I do apologise.
yeah, no, Peter, this is why you got to come on the next one. Our next show will be, I guess it's Tuesday night. We have the
Tuesday night.
Yep, Tuesday night we'll have it the same
What
time,
is
10
that?
p.m.
What?
Yeah, it's the same
So
time,
that's
10 p.m.
your time, is it?
Yeah, 10 p.m. So it's 3 a.m.
So would that be
UK
about-
time. But before that, at 7,
Yeah.
there'll be the Three Wise Men show. That's a new show that's going to be coming on. It's going to have Mr. K, Brian Daigle, and Awesome Awe, and I think Stelios will be their guest this week. So that'll be a
Yeah,
good show.
yeah.
I won't be on that show.
Okay, yeah.
And so we actually have Tuesday. We have 3 shows. Can you believe it? So we have the Bald and Bearded Tottenham Boys show during the UK during the afternoon, right? Which we have people coming on. Then we have the Three Wise Men at 7, and then the pre-match show because the game is on a Wednesday, Tuesday night, and then Wednesday we have the post-match show. So the same time as this one, but on a Wednesday night. And so if we ever have it when we do the late night
I
shows,
think I'll be a bit better on the next one.
yeah. Well, but no, you've been great to be honest with you. But we've got to go.
Yeah,
Let's say your last thing, and we'll go.
No, thank you for letting me on, guys. And hopefully I'll be a bit better when I come on another time. It's like it's like throwing me in onto a stage at the moment, but I wanted to come on, so it's best the first one out of the way.
No, it's
Get the
great.
first one out of
It's
the way
been,
and come
it's
on,
been
you
everybody
Spurs.
in the chat's
Come on,
loving
you
it. Yeah,
Spurs.
come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you
And then
Spurs.
Eugene, where can
That's it,
people
that's what
find
it's
you?
all
What can
about.
they do?
First a shout out to the same thing again, right? For my wife, for Myanmar, for the CDM movement, and of course now there's another issue, the Gaza issue. I have my I'm building my channel called the Virtual Government Project. Content should be up soon, very soon. Once it's up, I'll tag you all. All right.
All right. Sounds
Peace.
good. Carrie Ann, tell people where they can find you.
So big up, Will. Thanks for having me on again. Love this show so much and this community. You can find me on Twitter at SolidarityFC. And yeah, I just want to echo what Eugene said there. If you can donate to any causes that give support or medical aid or food or anything like that to the people in Gaza, they're really suffering now. So yeah, anything you can do to help the Palestinian people is good. So.
Yep. And yeah, just anybody, regardless of their religion or their thing, just people. War hurts. Yeah, war hurts people on both sides. So some get hurt more than others, and that's too bad. But there's suffering people on both sides. It's usually the children that suffer. So anything that goes to children on both sides of the conflict is great. But thank you guys for coming on. I'm gonna kick you guys out, and then we're gonna do our outro for the night. So thank you for coming on, Peter. Again, thank you for coming on. Big up to you, mate.
Yeah, thank you.
Huge amount of respect now.
Yeah. Hope to see you more often, Peter.
Yeah. Like I said, a little bit more calmer next time. Hopefully you get and you'll have more chance to talk, and I won't be jumping.
Oh,
over.
yeah, you were peaceful.
So I think I've been doing a bit.
We've had far fiery guests than you, Peter, but thank you for coming on. We appreciate it. We'll see you guys next time. Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Okay.
And take it easy. All right, folks. Great show. What a great show that was. Let me cue the music. Great show tonight. Peter, thanks to you again for coming on to the show. And see, this is what makes the show great, folks. In the chat. Thank you all of you who came in here. We got Koguma Nim, all of our, 한국 친구들이 너무 사랑해 줬어서 고맙거든요. 어차피 구독 해주셔서 고맙습니다. And Tony Co, guys, come on, you Spurs. We are going to be back Tuesday. No shows tomorrow, but Tuesday there will be 3 shows. Will you guess it? 1, 2, 3 shows on Tuesday. All day long here on THFC Rants. Stay strong. Stay Spurs. And we will see you next time.
1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go now.